Well, maybe you should explain it before we record, because as soon as I start recording, you're going to drop out completely. It already glitched. Yeah, he really cheated the system, which it made for a funny episode, but you can clearly tell I was randomizing it, and he was like, Godzilla was like one of those words. Like, obviously that wasn't random.
Word generators for the rest. Some of them I did. One of them is a word that isn't real, because the word generator had that option. Well, okay, but I will say I will defend me having. I got to defend me having stuff written down. Don't tell me more about it. It's because one section does require me to ask you two questions. It's the same way that Dylan made the wheel. You wrote a couple of things down. That's it. Other than that, it's all off the top of my head.
Okay. That is fair, because the second wheel we did, I did do three question rounds, and when we landed on it, I had to refer to my phone. So you're right. That is a good point. Not like it matters either way. So
wait, no, one of them was very, very long ago at episode 6.
Because I made it twice, and then Dylan did it one time. But I mean, I like doing it, but I don't want to rely on it.
But Joe, how'd you get random words on the wheel? I picked every word.
No, there was a random word generator, and I would click it, and I would pick the words that like sounded like, if the word was like ball, I'd be like no, but if the word was ramrod, I was like yes, because it seems like an interesting thing to talk about.
Oh, definitely.
That's how I did it.
Well,
they have like websites that just do random word generators.
I like when we pick it, because like you're not gonna make it gay, like.
No,
like
I get
shitty.
that, but I just didn't want to make it be like all the things I want to talk about in a row.
No, I know, but I could pick like just an element that's
bad
really
improv,
radioactive,
man. You gotta do improv.
And then bukkake, and then
Yeah, you're supposed to like Chevy, jizz, cock block. It was the most.
It was good.
I mean, it was right down the middle.
Yeah, right down the middle of what anyone would pick.
Of the shit we talk about. No, it was good. No, like I said.
All right, I say we get the ball rolling. And then we talk about episode 80 at the end.
Meeting, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're not talking about it during the episode. Yeah.
Let's get I chose a different theme. I broke it up a little bit from the
wheel. Let's Get Spun. It's called
the game show.
I think I have to. Meat spin.
Love my dad. That's good. Meat spin is exactly what this is going to be called from now on.
Meat spin.
Oh, that's right. We haven't
actually started. I'm ready to introduce everyone if you're ready.
Hold on, I have to stop sharing because we need to introduce we need to start the podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, buonasera, buonanotte, buongiorno, as I say in Italian all the time. This is the Dylan Joe Basin Podcast, also known as Meat Spin. Welcome to it.
If that's not there, go to PennIsland.com.
We're your hosts.
If you
There's
can't
three
find
of
us,
us.
just Google Meat Spin.
Yeah, just Google Meat Spin. It's like chat roulette with meat. Yes, PennIsland.com, super classic. I'm Dylan. I'm one of the hosts here today.
One jar. Okay, sorry,
Joe, everyone's trying to talk, dude.
I know.
I'm one of the hosts. I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you guys. Episode late 70s. Everyone else introduce yourselves. Excited to talk to you guys today.
Joe. I'm another host on the podcast, and I'm so glad to go back to
I'm Dom, and
I
like the party.
We started this last
and I'm sure I've said that probably 50% of the time that I haven't introduced myself on here. But I can't wait through this wheel. I've never gotten to do a wheel episode, and I got to make the wheel for this. I'm very excited for this episode.
AKA Mr. Boombastic himself.
Which, Dylan, you are right. It is late 70s. It's episode 78.
It's worth mentioning. Dom made the wheel this time.
It's a big deal. 78, late 70s. But yeah, Dom, I mean, Joe's made 2 wheels. I've made 1. At the very least, the wheels is a special episode.
There's nothing more
especially
than that.
At the
What?
very least, that is what you did.
Well, I know, but I
one
thought
at the
maybe
very
we did
least,
more.
and also at the most.
At the most, in the very least. No, but the wheel is special because you guys have no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
what's
for
coming,
most of it,
and neither do
I
Neither
know
does
the words
Joe.
on it. I don't know what we're going to
Dom
talk about,
does,
though.
but it
Only
doesn't
Dom knows what's on
affect
the wheel.
shit. So it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be really funny.
So just for people who haven't already seen it, yeah. But just so people haven't already seen it, we do the spin the wheel thing. We have a topics all around, like, a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing. Whatever it lands on, we just talk about what we want on that subject, whether it's 5 minutes or, I mean, one time we talked about half an hour for like one thing. So you never know, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But before we go there, I do want to shout out to the band Gates
I
to
did
Hell.
not.
Did you guys get a chance to listen to those serious Class 1 ass beaters?
I listened to both the songs you put up. I should reach out to you more for music. You and Dom are great music enthusiasts. That I really
I
got
gotta show you something. I got another good
music,
one.
I'm a blind spot. So whenever you and Dom suggest something to me,
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to hear it.
Awesome. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, so if these are out there who I want to hear it. So if you guys are out there, you listen to this podcast the first time and you like sick music, like fucking good music, check out Gates to Hell. Their songs are
beater.
fucking phenomenal.
Hell yeah.
I mean, like
band
Human
name,
Extinction,
And
Possessed,
that
and
sounds
fucking
fucking
Fortress
that sounds
of
like
Torture.
some great fucking music.
Come on.
Unreal.
But if you are
Unreal.
someone who likes some softer music,
Unreal.
Check out the
Unreal.
band
Top
Broken
notch.
Bells. Also very good.
2023 music.
Yeah. Fortress of Torture.
Nice. Okay. All right. We'll check them out. I'll check them out. I've never heard of them.
Bells.
Broken Bells on the softer side.
I like the
and
band.
on the harder
Sleigh
side.
Bells. On the,
Do they
on the
slay?
bell side of music, but it's
What
part
kind of bells do you like, Joe?
The band Sleigh Bells. You ever heard that before? They're pretty good.
Christmas.
It's basically like a girl and a DJ making a band.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's great.
Nice. Yeah, I don't want to shit on the bell thing, but like I do like when metal music does bring a cowbell in.
Really? I thought you were gonna say
Not
like
the
a
cow. I'm
church
not
bell.
trying to do Christopher Walken things at all because that
Dude,
joke's
the craziest
long
thing
past.
about that sketch
But I do
is
like the
Christopher
occasional
Walken is
cowbell
playing
in metal.
So you
Bruce
like Blue
Dickinson
Oyster Cult
from Iron Maiden.
I've seen him live actually.
Have you?
Yes.
How did they? Could you see the strings? Could you see the strings from the ceiling when they were playing, or it's like all animatronic now?
So it was all animatronic
Yeah.
because they're so
'Cause
fucking
they
old.
clearly are way too old to be playing music at this point. There's no fucking way they actually played.
So I learned 2 things at the Blue Oyster Cult concert. Can you guess what they are?
Yeah, I mean, we should both guess, Dom. I'm gonna guess never eat meat on Fridays during Lent is one thing you learn, and the other thing is that you're never too cool to be the exact same person you were in high school. So a lot of,
I think
80-year-old people wearing like leather jackets and shit like that.
Really good guesses,
I think-
Dominic.
at the- okay,
can you
that-
take
that
a
was a
wild
good
guess
thing
of
to
what
say,
2 things I
the
learned at the
venue.
Blue Oyster Cult concert at the
I
Cabot
think
Theater in Beverly, Mass.
two
was in
things you learned.
2019?
One of which was that you learned that Blue Oyster Cult has more songs that you know than you think you did.
Yeah.
But also it was less than 5 songs. And then my second thing you learned is that old people rip it up at concerts.
That's probably a good guess. Are we 100% on this? I feel
Dude,
like we're right
so
about all
I
these.
gotta say that you're dead accurate, and those are things I didn't think of. Is that yes, Blue Oyster Cult has more songs than you think you know that you know by them, and old people rep their concerts where people are still doing coke, and 50-year-old women are trying to.
That
hit
right
on
there,
me
that's
and
a Bach
bang me
filth. That's a Blue Oyster
when
Cult fan I'd
I'm
like to fuck.
with my wife. So
They're
yes,
reliving their youth, man.
yeah, they are. They really are. Like I got this.
Dude,
This
that's gonna be me.
A
I'm
MILF
gonna be 50 years
gave me
old,
her
I'm gonna go to a
business
fucking
card.
Warbringer concert, and I'm gonna try to pick up a high schooler, like
Patches
a real
O'Houlihan.
cool guy
yeah.
with my
So, but what
leather
I-
jacket
what-
on, my patches.
Yeah. What I was actually thinking though is that I learned 2 things
Yeah,
about
I was
Blue
gonna
Oyster
say that,
Cult.
Dom, you bitch.
Blue Oyster Cult is that number 1, they're a jam band. No one knows this.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
No one knows this. All of a sudden, I was like, "Hey, is this the same song?"
This
It's like
song's been going for
12
25
minutes
minutes.
later, It's the same song. Like we know,
they also have the Godzilla song.
Obviously, "Don't Fear the Reaper" and that other really good one. I'm burning up, burning for you. And then
they do Godzilla, right? Too.
Godzilla,
yeah, those
and
are
then,
the three.
then my favorite one though,
Godzilla.
I forget what it is, but all those songs
we played
are
that
like
on the podcast during our Megafauna episode.
Something.
We have that. It's DJ BP Legacy. Go Godzilla.
Hell yeah.
Is in the fucking podcast.
Nice.
You guys can go back to episode something.
But most of their songs are at least 6 to 10 minutes long. Like they're a jam band.
Damn.
And second thing is I learned is that they're fucking old as shit. And
Definitely, dude. They were kind of old when they got famous. They were like in their like early 30s when they got famous. And
About
that was
Blue
like in
Oyster Cult?
1965.
yeah, they look like Joe Biden today when he was giving an interview about the fucking shooting. You know, like
Yeah, and Joe
It's
Biden
that
probably saw
bad.
them when
It's
he was
that
a kid
bad.
and was like, "Well, I'm looking up to these guys. These are like my heroes." You know, that's how
yeah,
old
they're
they are.
that old. Like
Well,
they
it's like
don't move at all.
the last time I saw
why
no one's
Deletion
jumping
goes through
around.
Charlie
Daniels band,
There
I'm
is
pretty
They
sure
no-
they
play
played
the
once
album
in a
and
while.
just have them go like.
And the last time we
Yeah,
saw
there's
them,
no
I think he
movement at
was
all.
84.
Like, nothing at all.
It was the year before he died. And he did the first 2 songs standing up, then he sat on a stool for an hour,
Sure.
and then he stood up for 2 songs, and he sat on the stool for the rest of the show. Because he just couldn't fucking do it.
Oh,
Yeah, he also had to have been at least
and that's
250
after
pounds.
40 years of doing that. So it's not like he's never done it before. It's just like your body gets.
Oh, and he broke his leg, made out of guitars.
That's why you gotta get like those Dave Grohl.
Then
Yeah, like
Axl
those
Rose,
Dave
no,
Grohl
yeah,
throw,
then
like,
Axl
yeah,
Rose
he broke
broke his
his leg,
ankle
just,
like
really
2 years
make a big
later, and
deal out of
Dave
the
was
fact
like,
that you can't
"Here, take this
stand
on
up."
tour with you."
Yeah.
And he used it too.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
He used the same throne. Yeah. That was when he was fronting for
Yeah.
AC/DC, which I'm so glad I mean, talk about like classic bands.
So
that
Guns
I
N'
never
Roses.
would wanna
Well,
see is
Guns N' Roses
AC/DC
doesn't
talking
suck.
about
Axl Rose
no
sucks.
desire to see that.
I hate both of those bands.
Well, I love.
I don't even- I'm
like
not a
lot
big
of
fan
Guns
of his
N' Roses
voice
songs,
either.
But I hate Axl Rose as a person.
I just
I'm
don't.
really.
Axl Rose as a person is a terrible person.
No, I know.
For
I just.
the lead singer
I
to
just.
die and then bring in Axl Rose.
I'm not motivated by either band. I'm all good.
I don't get AC/DC rocks the cock, dude.
No,
You
they
gotta-
do. Of course they do. It was my first song on a guitar I could ever play. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like,
mean, I'm not talking about like back in
and same with Guns N' Roses, but I'm just- I'm over it, dude.
And like the shit with Bon Scott. I mean, even if you don't like the You Shook Me All Night Long stuff, like the old stuff is like killer, dude.
yeah,
Live
it's
Wire.
killer, but I'm done. I put my time in with those guys.
Let's
I'm
get
over it.
going. Let's
I
get
hate 'em.
spun.
So, let's get moving to the fucking wheel.
Yeah,
what do you guys
let's get the wheel
say?
going here, boys.
Let's get the wheel going.
Make sure the volume's on
Nope.
my wheel
Yep,
here.
it's coming.
Let's get spun.
You know it's gonna be slow for me.
Let's do a fucking meat spin. All right, you guys can see the wheel, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
last
I
night
did.
when-
I
Herbs
did
and
say
spices.
already
Wow,
in the
that's
episode that
When John was
I
testing it, he made
changed
it
the
a
style,
game show mode,
and
but
no one
he did his
fucking
own
listened to
personal
me.
spin on
No,
it.
no, this is good. So, what order are we going in?
this one makes a better sound. That's why.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand. I mean, I'm fine with it.
All right, so we can't do first name alphabetical order
D.
because me and Dom are both D's, and Joe
Yeah,
is a J.
well-
So we could do
What do you
middle
mean?
names. Dominic, what's your middle name?
Yeah.
Tell everyone on the
D's
podcast.
nuts.
Fuck, your middle
his
name's
dad's
D
name.
too. Dominic Daniel Morrow. Wow, that's like a real mouthful. All right,
Yeah,
so
look,
and
just like
Joe's
D's
Michael.
nuts.
All right, let's do middle
Real
names.
mouthful.
All right, so I'm Dylan George. That's
What are you talking about?
Dominic.
Dylan, what are you even talking about? Who goes first?
Yes, who goes first? The
What do
fuck
you
talking
mean?
about?
Goes first doing what? We spin
Like
the wheel
who-
and we all talk about it. There's no turns. This isn't like
No, we
voting or
spin the
anything like
wheel
that.
and we all talk about it, but who goes first on my dad?
No, we haven't spun it yet.
I know, but who gets to go first?
Whoever wants to, it's whatever the mood.
Oh,
strikes
okay.
you. It's
We're
a
getting to this or
conversation.
that
It's not
fast.
like
All right,
a
now this one I have to start with. This is what I have
never
written
had
down.
turns on
This is
this
what I have written down. I have a
Let's go
couple
this or
this or
that.
that's for us to debate.
That's the worst first round ever.
All right, this or that.
This
This
is like
or
the only
that.
one I have actual preparation for. I did not think this was going to be
okay.
first.
Dom has this
Um,
prepared.
I'll start with the
Okay.
spicier one first.
I like it.
We're gonna pick a director here.
Take us
Steven
with that.
Spielberg or
Great
Quentin
on the whole.
Tarantino. You can't look anything up to figure out what you just off the top of your head with evidence for why. Which one do you like better? Yep, you got to pick one.
Ooh. Pick one. Okay. pick one and then have to justify your answer. This kind of does seem like a voting episode, and this might come up in episode 80, but definitely a good question for the team. I already know my answer is Quentin Tarantino. It's not even close. Steven Spielberg is an amazing director, and he's made more like wonderful movies for so many people. I mean, trying to like E.T., Indiana Jones, Schindler's List, like some of the Saving Private Ryan. I mean, some of the all-time greatest movies of all time, for a mass appeal though. And for me, when I come down to a lot of stuff, whether there's music or movies, although I like the mass appeal stuff like Star Wars, I do love like the more focused on like what I want to see and like the expertise of it. That's why I'd rather watch a Tarantino movie any day than watch Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans that came out last year, which is a biopic about his life generally. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to watch that. Spielberg's cool, but Tarantino is a fucking killer, and he's more attuned to my adult taste in movies, and more specifically. So I got to take Tarantino on that one. Although Spielberg, respect.
That's nice. I pick Spielberg just because he really makes me feel like a cinematic experience based off of his choosing his choice of music. Usually comes from
usually John Williams does it for him.
I thought
with
also,
Franz like these, who needs an enemies?
The other guy, Franz.
No, he doesn't do Hans Zimmer. No, he does John
Hans
Williams.
Zimmer, yeah.
He doesn't do Hans Zimmer though.
Cool. Well, I'm really making a good case.
He does John Williams almost exclusively, just like George Lucas. They swear by John Williams.
Their guy, yeah. It just Spielberg movies really make you feel at home. You know what I mean? And like I fucking love Quentin Tarantino. I mean, Inglourious Bastards I've probably seen 400,000 times.
Yeah,
but I say Spielberg because you know it's
That's
good.
Fair. I mean,
it's fucking good.
If you're talking about all-time movies, it's Tarantino, who basically never makes a bad movie. He still can't compare to E.T., Jaws, Indiana Jones, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan. Like they're all like absolute touchstones of American culture. Like they're like Steven Spielberg's like the Beatles of directing. It's like they're not all the same, but they're all stone cold classics, and everyone loves them. Like he very rarely makes a bad movie.
Yeah, everyone loves Schindler's List. You're right.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. I'll watch it every
It's
year.
such a good movie. I mean, like I can't stop watching it.
Dude, Jaws. I mean,
so
come
good,
on.
dude.
He literally invented a genre of fucking film.
Did you know that the shark in Jaws was only on film for 4 minutes total in the entire first Jaws 1?
Yes, because they couldn't get the animatronic to work, and the animatronic was nicknamed Bruce, and that's why in Finding Nemo they called the shark Bruce because of that.
No shit. Wow, who would have known?
And it actually ended up that because it was broken, it made it a great movie. They wanted to show the shark like 100 times, and it would have been lame as hell. But the fact that you can never see it really until you do,
get scared
and
of
it's terrifying. That's the real fear in it. So it actually worked out for him.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, there was never a term blockbuster until Jaws came out. It wasn't a phrase. The film Jaws is attributed to the first blockbuster film of all time because it was the first movie where people were lined up down the street to get in. That's why they called it a blockbuster.
Yeah, the block is busted. Yeah, I never thought of that.
And now they call a bunch of movies that, but Jaws was the first one. There was no movies before Jaws that was called a blockbuster. Do you know that the movie after Jaws that was called a blockbuster? It was a year after it, and then people were like, now it's a common phrase. Can you guess what the movie that is?
A year after Jaws in the
Spielberg
70s.
didn't make it, but the same guy did the music for both movies.
Okay, Driller Killer.
No, that was not a blockbuster because we never heard of it, so it can't be that famous.
Okay,
it was Star Wars. Exactly right.
Would have thought it was... No.
Nope, we can't
You're
see
black.
you, and also you don't have a recording dot on, which makes me think that not only can we not see you, but you're not even being recorded. Which is kind
I hope you are.
It's like the more elements we add, the worse Dom's connection is. Like, no recording, fine. Recording, half-half. Recording screen share doesn't exist anymore. Like, your computer just can't comprehend that at all.
Are you having a good time? That's all that matters.
So what I'm going to do is, in between when we're spinning the wheel, I'm not going to leave the wheel up. I'm going to have it so it's just 3 of us, and maybe that'll be better.
Yeah, it sounds
for us.
good. Dom, what'd you have?
Talking.
Did you eat food today? Like, can you tell us what you had? Did you fart today? Nice. That's pretty cool.
Interesting question.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take our first break just so that we can figure out if Dom's shit's going to work? Because I really don't want to watch a whole podcast.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Dom, you figure your shit out, and we'll take our first break. Welcome back to the Dylan Joe Basement Podcast, possibly known as just the basement in the future. We're Dylan, Dom, and Joe, also known as DDJ, JDD, DJD. That's us. So we're on round 2 of Meat
Next
Wheel.
wheel spin. Here we go. Okay.
Until now. So you say it, dude. Let's see what's up.
What did you pick out of Spielberg or... Yeah, who are you going to pick? Yeah, go ahead.
But we're never going to leave this one town in California.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Duel. Yeah,
good.
Duel is a fucking
Yes.
Stone Cold classic.
No, that's good, though.
You can... Joe Belushi drinking Jack
Wait, that
Daniels
was
in
him
his
too?
fighter's plane.
See, yeah, he's a hit machine. Even his flops are hits.
Then it cuts to Vin Diesel
He did
before
that.
he was Dom
Lucas did
Toretto.
Star Wars. He's like, I'm gonna do a comedy about World War II. I think that
I like yours
there's a
too,
mashup
Vinny
to be had
Ethanol.
here
That was
between
good.
1941.
Mine's better though, but yeah.
No, but listen,
I think it's
you
time
should
to
make this
spin
video,
that
which is
wheel.
1941. It's the trailer for that, but you mash it up with Saving Private Ryan because they're both Spielberg movies, and you act like it's the same movie. That's the YouTube video. That's the ideas for free. If anyone wants to make that, I'm not gonna do it, but it's a great idea. It's like from the mind of Steven Spielberg, and it's like fucking John Belushi, like, and then Tom Hanks. Yeah, and then it cuts to like
goes.
His leg gets blown off. I mean, it's a great. I mean, literally, he made a comedy about World War II and then made an Oscar-winning film. It cuts to Vincent Gasoline, as you said. Yeah, very nice. All right.
Vinny
yours is great.
JP5.
But I was kind of disappointed when I clicked on the Reddit post and everyone said the exact same thing you said before you, so that was kind of disheartening. But I know you didn't just copy them. All right, because they all said Vincent Gasoline. All right, so here we go. We're doing the next one on the spin the wheel challenge here. We're gonna go to
share your screen, get that old meat spin up and running.
Get that meat spin going. I'm so
meaty
surprised that Dom is still on.
and
I think. Let's see how
hot
long he is. And here we
and
go.
spinny and meat.
We might not get
See
to
what
all
this
of
meat's
these.
about. Guys, when's the last time you had meat?
High and dry. You can't start a new conversation. We're in the middle of the fucking wheel, man.
High and dry. Always wait for
High
it to
and
spin,
dry.
Joe. I mean, high and dry.
So this makes me think of being stranded, left high and dry. So the something that always comes up to my mentality is when I was in middle school.
Did you actually
and
wait
I
there
went
for an
to
hour?
An orthodontist that was behind Apple Street Market. It's like near Forest Ave. And
I know
they
the
had,
place.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like that little plaza area there. My orthodontist was behind that, and they bring you up there and they do. It was the worst. I mean, the orthodontist was basically the worst thing ever. I mean, I'm glad my mom paid out the ass for braces.
Scam.
Because my teeth were
No.
fucked. Like when I first went in for braces,
No.
I didn't even have.
He
all
said
my
Apple
teeth
Mar-
in. Like, some of
Country
them were
Apple
still
Market.
up here, and they're like, we might have to do surgery to pull his teeth down because like he's old enough to have braces, but also his baby teeth aren't done yet. It was insane. But basically, what happened was that she dropped me off there, and she was like, "All right, I'll pick you up in like an hour when it's done or whatever." And I walked up to the door, and it was locked because they were closed. And I walked back, and my mom was gone, and I had no cell phone because I was a kid. So I walked through the neighborhood. I didn't know that. No, I started walking through neighborhoods to try to find anyone I knew because at the time I was completely unfamiliar with the lake side of Hudson. I would in years.
Wait, I thought
future,
this was near Uncle Steven's house.
No, this is like
You said Little Peach?
Forest Avenue. It's no,
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. I
Sounds
said,
very
Apple
much similar
Street
to Little
Market.
Peach. You can see how I got confused.
Yeah, Apple Country. That's what it is. Apple
Oh.
Country Market.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
This
okay,
is like
gotcha.
Harry's neighborhood or my neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
got it.
but I
no,
didn't live there
I
yet.
got that down. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I had never
It's a pretty good story. I've never heard that before.
I never lived in that area of Hudson, and I didn't even know that Harry lived there. I knew like it was the general area, so I was like wandering the streets, just like walking around trying to find someone like that I knew to like call my mom. And it wasn't until she got back, like I said, like an hour later, and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, "They weren't open." Like I'd just been wandering around the streets of Hudson for like an hour. I didn't know what to do, and she was like, "All right." And then a week later, she bought me, or no, she didn't buy me, but she gave me her old Nokia pay-as-you-go phone. She's like, "All right, if you ever get stuck again, you can call me." So that actually gave me a cell phone from that experience, but it also was kind of weird that 2 years later, I would be like completely familiar with that area.
Was that the guy that was there before Skippy?
I had no idea. So I was left high and dry, and then I got a cell phone out of it.
Nice, good story, Joe.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot of high and dry stories. I mean, kind of get fucked over all the time, but
sure,
nothing's striking me about being left high and dry.
Besides,
maybe one time.
Yeah, go ahead.
One time I got high at Joe Crossman's house, and I really don't like
Joe Crossman, who was my roommate for a short time, you might forget.
All right, I don't want to say this
Joe
right
Crossman
now.
and his girlfriend lived with me for like 5 months.
A live thing, but he's the only person in this world that I really have. I have beef. I have beef with him, and that's okay. I don't want to say it, but
that's fine. I have beef with him and his girlfriend now that they live with me for fucking.
No, I got beef. I got real beef with him. Long story, but I
used to like him quite a bit.
I don't know about that.
Never did. But one time I got really high in his garage, and I really didn't like that. And that's my high and dry story. I don't really know what to say about that. Besides, it was
if you're gonna bring up a story where you can't
there's a
talk
spit.
about it,
Dude, just relax. It was a spit window, and I think that was gross. It was like dry spit. So I was really high, and there was dry spit on a window.
Yeah.
So every time you walk
gross.
up, and every time you walk down,
I thought when I first
just spit in this window, and this is like a real thing to do.
Heard high and dry,
and it grossed me the fuck
out.
The fucking white trash thing to do. Spit on a window.
Like I remember the first time.
Yeah, it is. No, it fucking is, dude. Like you could honestly right now.
Oh, you're gonna get dry. I'm like, I've never had them before. The very first time your mouth dries up while you're super stoned, like I gotta drink some water, and it just does nothing.
But if you spit on a window,
I can't even swallow this,
and then I have to go near it, I'm not cool.
Yeah, cotton
spit
mouth, like
is
you're
my
sucking
problem.
up fucking cotton balls.
So
that's
I was really high, and there was dry spit on a window
and it's really
in a garage
off
off Main Street by the Rotary.
What I can think of for a high and dry,
that's my high and dry story. So I never left too high and dry because I'm a little bit of a dick.
A different depiction of high.
So this is the closest I can think of.
Yeah, well, that's all I got.
Really having to think hard about it.
No, yeah, I'm definitely cool with that.
I remember I was in second grade and we went to Universal Studios, and it was like the first or second day, whatever. There's a Popeye ride. It's like one of those big inflatables that like 8 people sit on. And you get all wet, and they have the sections where the people can spray you with water guns, and we were doing that.
Cottonmouth.
And I was done, and I was like, "Oh, there's my dad." And I walked up, and I went, "Dad!" And I touched him. And the guy turned around, and it wasn't my dad. And I was like picture Kevin McAllister, ah! And I was like, "Where is he?" And I saw him like just 3 feet away. I just looked in the wrong direction.
But the phrase is more
for those few seconds, I was full blown panicking. I was like, Where's my dad? What is happening? Why did he leave me? And he was right there the whole time.
Oh, dude. That sticks with you.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like, ah, and she was like, ah! And you're like, ah! And she's like, ah! And then you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you're like, directed by Adam Sandler.
Dude, that is an untapped well. That moment where you think it's your parent and it's not, I think it's extra scary because it's absolute 100% trust turned into 100% stranger danger. Like, it goes from like, hey, mommy, and you grab it and it's someone else, a stranger, and you're like, oh my God. Like, the terror goes from like 100% happy to 100% negative, like terrified. I think everyone's had that experience, but it sticks out. It happened to me at the teacher's store.
We all have, no question.
I grabbed some lady's jacket, and she turned around, and it wasn't her, and I was like, ah! And she was like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, ah!
So scary.
Right away.
No, Dewar's models are usually clear.
Because you automatically think, like...
Dewar's and ginger ale, pretty good.
Luckily, I never had a kid do that to me. But
Plateau.
I feel so bad for the kid. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
I put this one on there.
No one can be like,
just because,
okay,
not
we'll
for
find
something
your mom.
specifically to say. I just thought of it randomly. Plateau. And the first thing I think of when you say plateau is
so
third,
I think that's high and dry, guys. I mean,
think
there's
so, yeah.
types of land.
a lot of
There's
things.
that
Let's
picture
spin
where
the
it shows
motherfucking
like
wheel.
every type of land and geography. You just have you'll see this is a desert, this is a mountain, this is a hill, this is a plateau, this is a bay, this is an ocean.
So guys, while
it's
spinning, I'm drinking
that one picture that shows
brown
all the different land types
bottle,
basically.
And
I always thought that was like every once in a while if I see that, even as an adult,
package
I'm like, it was on Reddit today.
With ginger
Plateau
ale.
we landed on. Plateau.
I didn't see it today. I did not see that.
Yeah, because Doers alone ain't that great.
Yeah. Also, don't forget in the original Pokemon games, the Elite Four was at Indigo Plateau.
That's what I learned about it when I was playing Pokemon.
I feel like plateau is like when you're making love to your girlfriend or your boyfriend or both, and
yeah,
he's
it's kind of
two, and you're coming
similar to
across
flatlining.
Round two, and it's just becoming over like 8 minutes.
Yeah, but no, you don't always use flatline to describe a person's
it's
heart rate.
plateaued, where everyone's kind of getting bored, and you're like, maybe I should end this.
I treat
in
it
any
as
way that I can.
Similar to what Dylan's saying, I don't actually think of plateau when I first hear the word. I don't think of the geographical, situation. I think of like becoming stagnant, like plateauing. Or like you're coming up, you're doing well, and then you plateau. Like you just
like banging on round 2 or 3, and it's like there's
diminishing returns kind of thing where it's like
doctor, how's the patient?
You're not
I'm
going
sorry,
up, but you're just plateaued because you're just going straight across. You're flatlining exactly.
Well, flatlining means you're like
dead, but like flatlining. But yeah, you're plateaued.
But usually use flatlining to mean that you're like out of commission. You don't say like he's kind of like his career is kind of flatlined. I don't think of that as plateauing. I think if your career flatlines, it means it's on life support. Like you're done. Plateau is like you're not going up, you're not going down. You're just kind of like just right where you are.
All I can think of right now is
like
so
that would be
that guy flatlined. I would be like, oh, so he's kind of like stuck where in his position in life. I'd be like, oh, he's dying.
Plateaued is stuck where you are at the same rate you are.
It's the same shape, but it's one's dying, one's all the way down, and one's just kind of stuck. Yeah. So, anyways, I've plateaued in my life, so I think that's a fair assumption. I'm not going up, not going down. I'm just right here.
Yeah, which is fine, which is totally fine. I mean, that's
I like
okay.
to call it
There's
cruise control.
I had a problem. So cruise control is a good thing because I was looking at someone's thing and they're like, "Oh, like,
feels
are
nice,
you productive today?" You know what? Suck my fucking big dick. That's what I think about. Are you productive today? Like, fuck you. Like, no, I wasn't at all. Not at all. Not even close to productive. Yeah, it's a good point.
Cruise control.
No, but if I'm plateaued today, I'm not productive today, then you can go fucking suck off. Like I'm fine.
Yeah.
I was
get
so
that.
like, like I'm here on this plane of fucking consciousness, and if I want to fucking chill and do dick all day for just a day, you can suck my big giant balls, okay? Because that's all.
No, I think I agree with you. I mean, I think everyone should have their own path in life and whatever makes you happy and shit like that. Like, if you keep comparing yourself to other people, it's no good. But if you never compare yourself to anybody, it's also no good. So it's just really no winning.
Is it though? Like, why would you compare yourself to someone else?
I guess it's to try to find the sections of your life where you aren't as happy as you could be, and obviously comparing yourself to them is not helpful. But like, I guess taking notes kind of thing, or being like, oh yeah, this person's doing this. Like,
I'm not.
Seem to be, like,
don't do that to
right
me.
Maybe I can I can kind of accomplish things in that way, like kind of an inspiration.
But there's no way around that, Joe. I mean, come on, like you could. Like, there's not a single human being on this goddamn planet that I would trade my life with. At all.
I agree. No,
my life ain't perfect. Not even close.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, man. I'm not.
But I'm like,
oh,
these people have these and that and whatever it is. I'm like, I don't want their fucking shit. No fucking way. Too many rules.
I get that. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, I've fallen in this trap in my life, and I'm sure most people have, where like if you literally have no accountability and no one to look up to or look for, you'll just get into your own like hole of filth, and you'll be like,
but you're in your hole of filth because
you're
in your 30s. We all are. Well, Dom pretty much is.
Dom,
but he's not.
Don't put that curse on him. Don't
No,
you
no,
put
I'm
the
just
devil on me,
saying is that,
Ricky
like-
Bobby.
No, but once I hit my 30s, I realized that I don't have any. I don't need any motivation, whatever it is. Like there was I had role models and this and that and fucking dead people that I like.
Yeah, role models
strive
are
for
you
to
comparing
be.
yourself to other
But once
people.
you hit 30,
Just gave my example. Role models are you comparing yourself to someone else's life and looking up to them and wanting to emulate them. That is comparison.
yeah, I said. But once you hit as a male in your 30s, you're your own role model. You're like, now it's time for me to no excuses, no fucking bullshit. Fuck you. You're a dick, and I'm gonna do my own thing. Like, and I'm now the role model for other people. So I gotta be good. You know, like there's no. Am
So
I?
you-
What?
now you're self accountable rather than trying to look up to somebody. Is that what
Exactly. So now I'm like, I want to be like this guy, but that guy's
get that.
fucked. Then but 30s comes out that you realize that guy's fucked, the one that you want to be like, and that's
you're saying? Yeah,
fucked.
no, I get that, but you can still pick and choose.
No, you pick and choose, but you go, hey, I'm 30s. Now I get to after 20s were tough. 20s were not easy, and now you're in your 30s, and you're like, I can
the famous Metallica album, "Fuck Them
do
All."
what I've been doing for 10 years, which is totally fine, and everyone can fuck themselves, or I can change it, and everyone can fuck themselves. So the bottom
So
line is
that
in
was
your 30s,
Plateaus.
Everyone can fuck themselves.
No, yeah, that's basically the long.
And that's
and
kind
short
of my only thought of
No, I get
30s.
I get that.
Oh no,
And
there's
yeah,
no way
obviously
we're
it's
gonna finish
about how
the
you
wheel.
feel about shit. It shouldn't be about how people feel. But I just like it's sometimes helpful to take indicators from other people of how they've found their way and kind of compare yourself to that. But obviously, comparison is the thief of joy. Is a famous phrase.
Yeah, I think fuck
you
them.
shouldn't compare yourself to people.
Really do.
I
Like,
agree.
fuck those people. Whoever you're thinking of, I think you should tell them in your head to fuck themselves, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't compare. Fuck them all.
Compare. Just
That's all I'm
be
saying. So
yourself.
let's spin that wheel because this is getting into a wormhole of fucking everyone fucking themselves.
That's a significantly cooler name.
and that's you
they
come
should
from
bring
three
that
guys
back.
who are, Dom's close enough, but wow, thanks, Tom. Yeah, we plateaued hard
We're not
on
gonna
that
finish.
conversation.
Yeah, this was
that was the definition of plateauing.
garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal.
No, Dylan, you go.
Wow, what a category! Can you believe it?
I have a question.
Oh no,
can't
I have
do
the
it.
delay timed out pretty well.
Sure.
I'm
Disposal
telling
was
Dylan to go.
patented as the electric pig, which is what it was called. Garbage disposal was a second
I've had the
thing
delay
chosen.
the entire
It
time.
was
It's not
originally
new. Just talk.
patented and invented as the electric pig. So you kind of harken back to the days of throwing all your scraps to your pigs in your farm, and they'll eat anything. They'll eat bones. They'll eat teeth. They'll eat anything. So that's what the garbage disposal used to be called. That's my initial response to that.
Appreciate that, Joe. Thanks.
Dylan hasn't talked
All right,
for like half
Dom.
an hour.
I'm just gonna take the lead here and go because you got a delay.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go. All right. So because
Dylan.
I don't. Well, I think garbage disposals are
I
fucking
can't
great.
see you, by the way, too. You're just.
But all I know is that plumbers tell you a thing or two about garbage disposals. And those things or two about garbage disposals are specifically that they cause more problems than they don't because it makes the average American male and female think that they can put an entire cheeseburger down it because
Yeah.
they can.
They're not.
will eat it.
Plumbers hate.
It's a
'cause they're
plumber's
not-
game. It's a spinning disc full of fully rotating
Yeah.
fucking like
RPMs, baby.
octagons that eat
Yeah, it's
shit,
not a
bones,
trash can.
pennies,
It's
nails.
for like scraps.
Eventually, they
Holds it
will get eaten. Glass, because you break wine glasses in it. So people have false conceptions or misconceptions that they can put whatever they want in. a
So your
garbage
trash
disposal.
doesn't smell.
The whole
That's
point of garbage
exactly that's all
disposal
it's
is
for.
not
They think it's like
to.
that movie Gattaca where they put it in the fire and it just has like a blast furnace and it destroys it. That's not the case. It just chops up a
It's
little
not
bit.
the case
it goes
at
down
all.
the same pipes as your water. Those pipes are made for
But
water,
if you
not for
have a
cheeseburgers.
good plumber, the garbage disposal should be good. Like it's people think it substitutes you. Like, oh hey, I'm not hungry. I'm gonna put this entire fucking plate of goddamn chicken.
Yeah, but the thing, you're not supposed to put bones through a garbage disposal. By the way,
that's not a real fucking thing. I mean, like spaghetti.
Yeah, it is. Fuck yeah,
rigatoni.
Chicken parm rigatoni. I'll eat that right now.
Well, hey, maybe the garbage disposal doesn't go to the drain, and they just use it to grind beef. Then they make their hamburgers out of it.
Destroy all your food and put it down a drain pipe. Well, they just put your trash.
Yeah, I know,
but
if you take out your trash, it's a weird thing. Like I'm not a.
I don't get why every house needs to have one. It's like just put your trash outside. Like it's just trash. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not a big garbage disposal person.
You have to buy like an electric pig for your house to grind up all your like things like chicken bones. You can throw them in the trash anyways. You don't want to throw them in the trash.
Oh, you can also just not use it if you have it.
Bone in the garbage disposal. Like I'm sure it'd be fine.
Yeah, you put it in the trash. So what are you doing here? You're trying to make. You think your house is cleaner because you're grinding up all your hamburger meat and putting it down the drain? Like you said, the plumber shit. It's still going down the same place as your like toothpaste or your spit. Like it's not supposed to be like a bunch of an industrial kitchen.
Well. Also, the other thing is,
you don't have a grease trap for your house.
Some people will like if you're trying to rent an apartment.
Is it called Dom? Yeah, maybe.
If you're trying to rent an apartment, some people, if you're looking around, will go, "It has a dishwasher. I don't want to move in here." No one's gonna not move in because it does or does not have a garbage disposal.
All right, look. All this being said, it's better than not to have one because you can grind up the bullshit before it goes in the pipes. But
I have one. It's a pull start. It takes a pain in the ass. Sometimes it gets flooded.
Yeah, I know.
Out of all the things that I have had at some point in my life and wish I still had, like dishwasher and shit like that, like garbage disposal is the rock bottom of the list. I'm like, I don't need one.
Rock bottom because I have the mesh thing.
Yet again,
in the sink.
Don't care.
So if I put a bunch of shit in it, I just like dump that in the thing.
That's the way to do it. They throw it in the trash.
Yeah. I
just want to say one more thing about garbage disposal.
I don't care. If it smells bad, bring it outside. I don't know what to tell you. Go ahead.
All right. Last thing I want to say about garbage disposal is
garbage disposal.
Not naming
names.
And
also they wire it in like a lot of like, electric light switches.
A while back, Dylan made a video about a big orange monolith in Marlboro.
It's weird.
And we had an inside source on that property. He knows how to fix some garbage disposals. He spends a lot of time fixing those. They're really good at it.
Hey guys,
that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, so that's garbage disposal, which was the category, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's okay. I have to take a commercial break, so we're all gonna take a commercial break.
Go ahead, Dom. Finish it off for us. We'll take you into commercial. You'll be the last one to talk.
Amanda.
It's a big giant X.
Yeah. Really? I should also say, I guess I lied to you, Dylan. I drove by the butterfly and the one that's like by the North Shore, and they spray painted graffiti butterflies on purpose to make people think it's a butterfly because people decide what it is.
No, they really put like imagine like a tramp stamp.
It was
butterfly.
not a butterfly. It was not a butterfly at all.
No. Tramp stamp butterfly stickers.
Yep.
But
those are all over
butterfly templates for spray paint to let people know this is a butterfly.
And it wasn't.
God, I love it.
It was not. People decided that's what it was, and they were like, oh, "Okay, we'll run with it. We'll run with it." So now it's all over.
Oh, it's even better. No, what's even better is that
it's a piece
my
of
mom.
Shit.
My mom works at New Horizons now.
Yeah,
and no one knows that I'm that we're the guys.
Oh, they haven't made the connection.
No connection yet, but it's gonna happen.
Well, in her honor, I don't want them to find out. I don't want it to come down.
No, I hope she finds out because it'll be good. It'll be funny. But
it'll be funny as hell, and I'll also have to do
funny as hell. But yeah, no, this is an us thing.
Another commercial break. Spin the wheel, boys and girls.
All right. Dewar's the brown one.
I can't let you keep saying brown.
No, it's the brown one, dude. So guys, welcome back to the Dylan Joe Basin podcast. Here's Joe and Dom doing shots. I'm not doing shots because I don't drink.
And we respect that about you.
Very specifically, I'm sober. It's a better life. So they're doing shots. I'm not, but I just want to let you guys know that there are two different Dewarses. I've never seen
15 years.
More than two. There's the $19.99 750
then that's
milliliter
the Dewar's Gold then.
white label Dewar's. Then there's the like $30 brown bottle that's aged like that sounds like way too much. But it is. You're right. It is 15 years.
Not when it came out. That's when it was initially distilled.
This is maybe no, dude, Dom, it's 12 years. I have the 12-year up here.
Yeah, because it wasn't good to come out.
Which is crazy, because 12 years ago was high school for me. So that's when this bottle came out.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Had a good time. Well, distilled, yeah, and I was absolutely slang back then. I had a good time. 12 years ago.
No, it was still...
No, but it was aging.
I mean, even when we were seniors
was
in high
it because
school,
of
there
the
was, like,
Catholic
lots of
school?
people in high school said they were gay. And now I'm pretty sure it's like 100. Like, they're just were gay anyways, but like now it's not so bad to come out with it. Like, when we were in high school, it was not like accepted to talk about that. Like, as much as we would be okay with it, it was like...
No, there was a couple of like gay Peter. Like, there were some gay people who were like gay,
well, in
and
Catholic
it was
school,
cool.
for sure it was bad. But even at Hudson High, like fucking Peter, whatever his name was, I saw him at Pride with Dom, and I was like, he's like, hey, I go, oh, what's up? Like, I hadn't seen him since high school. We like hugged each other. I didn't
No,
know the guy.
you went
like,
there.
Yeah, you were obviously gay the whole time, but you couldn't, or you wouldn't say it because you didn't want to be.
Well, you said he was then too, which is cool. Like, I was down with that.
Yeah,
Like,
big
cool,
gay
man.
Peter.
Yeah, big gay Peter. Yeah.
It's on the board.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that's
I'm just
cool.
saying, like, dude, do you think that he was the only gay guy at Hudson High? Like, that's what we thought, but like, there's probably like 100 more of them. We just don't know. 'Cause they didn't come out. Anyways, let's get back to the wheel. No,
Back to the wheel.
Sorry, I forgot to share first.
All right, so y'all want to spin this thing?
We landed on old leather.
Odd leather, not old.
Oh, sorry. Odd leather.
Odd leather, Joe. I feel like you should go first for this one because I obviously
Fuck
have.
you. I go first every time because I have my initial
Jesus,
improv ideas.
goddamn.
And now you're making me go first with odd leather. You and Dom can take this all the fucking way to the bank.
I'm telling you
not
to go
doing-
first
I'm not
because
going
I know I've got a lot of content
Well
for
then,
this.
well, then start with what you're gonna say then. Making me go
Odd
first.
leather?
On the one thing I don't know anything about.
So, all right, guys, friends of the Dylan Joe Basin podcast. I just want to let you guys know that there's two types of leather tanning.
if you have a lot to say about a subject, you just talk first. You don't make everybody else go first.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'm eating cookies right now, so fuck off. So there's chrome tanning, which is using chromium to process the leather. It breaks down the organic materials in the leather, and chrome tanning at the ultimate fucking awesomeness produces patent leather. Patent leather is like really soft and shiny.
How do they use the chrome in the process, though? Can you describe like how that goes? Like,
Chromium?
do they like put it in a mixture, or they like bash it with metal? How do you use the metal in the tanning process?
It's a great question, Joe. I'm really happy you asked. So, chromium can be in liquid form. So
liquid
you put
chromium.
the chromium in liquid form, and then you basically acid bath or basic bath, whatever it is, whatever chromium is, the animal hide in that
So liquid
solution. It's a solution because it's a solvent-based thing, and if it's chromium, for some reason that I don't know, that Dom might know, is that chromium, the element
all
on
metals
the periodic
are
table,
naturally shiny,
breaks
but
down
they
skin
oxidize at different.
better than other
severities.
things, and it makes it able to be shiny.
Shiny, huh? Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
Because
chromium-
like, literally, if
shiny
you
as it
have a
is.
block,
I think
fuck,
we're
not
because
talking
we're
about
sodium.
tanning
shiny
leather.
element.
It is. So but it's a little.
Sorry, I'm trying
it's
to
not
fucking
like
figure
that,
this
but it's
layout again.
chromium.
I forget which it's I think it's potassium, I believe. When you have
Is that what it is, Tom? Yeah.
when you have a solid block of potassium,
but
it's
like,
very soft.
We're
You can
retaining
cut it
leather,
with
so
a
like
knife,
leather's been
and
tanned
for a couple seconds it's shiny, but it tarnishes super fast because it's such a weak metal that breaks down so
Dom,
easily.
you have to keep talking.
But silver
stop talking,
is even though it is,
every time you stop talking,
silver
it's like 5
is
seconds.
the shiniest metal of all, and it has to do with just the compounds of the element itself. But all metal is shiny at some point in its solid form. Well, I mean, even look at mercury; it's a fucking liquid; it's still shiny.
That is true. I've seen that. It's so cool.
Silver is a metal.
Is that true?
Thanks, Tom. So, yeah.
Well, you said silver. You didn't say metal, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And you can float an anvil in mercury, which is cool. But when it comes to tanning, you got chrome tan, you got veg tan. So you're tanning leather with chromium, or you're tanning it with a vegetable-based solution to get it to a point where it's like just animal skin to a leather coat. That takes a little bit of work. And that's where I'm at in this conversation.
Dylan, have you seen the mango leather that the guy made?
I have, but it's the same thing. So you're taking mango skin, you fruit skin, and then you're using chemicals to make it into a sustainable, durable, waterproofable textile.
Yeah, textile.
These are textiles to wear as clothing, and I'm all about it.
I think it's cool as hell, the idea that you could one day have leather be made out of fruits instead of having to like murder cows and stuff like that to do it.
Well, here's the thing is that I appreciate that, Joe, like that we're gonna have fruit and hemp be clothing, which is all good, but everything skin and fur related, so wool and skin.
Don't tell PETA that. PETA thinks they're killing it
is
just
a byproduct of food production. So when we take a cow and we eat all the meat off of it, we drink the milk.
They don't kill a cow just to make a coat. They usually sell the meat too.
Yeah. So the first line of production is to use all of the muscle tissue to feed people, and then the second line of production.
Yeah, but dude, imagine rhino leather though.
We're not taking it for the skin. The skin is the aftermath. It's like we either make the skin to clothing or we throw it in the trash because we're doing this to eat.
That does happen sometimes though, like rhino horns, where they would kill a rhino, take the horn off, and leave the entire carcass. Like it has happened.
That's poaching. So that's look, mass farming and.
I'm not saying it happens all the time. I'm just saying like. There's no examples of wasting an entire animal's body for one part of it, like shark fin soup.
Yeah, but like rhinos and elephants, like that was poaching related. It wasn't like commercial farming, which I disagree with. I'd rather someone go shoot a deer in the woods, which is terrible, but better than commercial farming. But when it comes to rhinos and taking their horn, it comes down to. I have ivory over here, and I feel bad about it, but I didn't get it.
But it existed before you were born, I think, right?
Yeah, so I'd rather be like I have.
You can't be blamed for that.
No, but exactly. But I have 2 sheepskins, and I'm like, I'd rather be the person who gives us a really good home as opposed to someone who's like really shitty about it. So, anyways, let's move on from this topic. I think we've covered this.
Wasted otherwise. I mean, the ivory, for example, like it's already made into a beautiful ornament, and if you just get rid of it, then you're just wasted that elephant's life or whatever. Now you're at least appreciating it. It's kind of one of those things where it's like it's already happened, so you might as well appreciate it rather than fucking throw it away. Whether it's rhino horn or elephant.
Yeah, exactly. Like historical as opposed to new. Like if it's historical, that's okay. I'm down with that. If it's new, then I'm not down with that. I want to support that industry.
I did 15 because when I watched the video from when Dylan
let's
made
spin
it,
the old meat
Joe
spin. Let's see what's going on.
Joe said
we're down to a couple
10
topics.
15, so
we're spinning.
We're down to like basically the entire wheel. Last when we did it. How many things did you do, Dom?
My
did like
dad.
10, and you did like 20. My dad. Oh, this ought to take us to the end of the podcast.
Oh, it landed on my dad? Remember, I can't see the wheel when it spins because my internet is absolute garbage.
Nice.
All right,
appreciate it. So raise your hand if your dad is still in the picture.
Joe knows of the video at least. Dylan, I don't know if you've ever
Joe's
seen.
yours is.
Auntie
Donna's okay,
Donna's
all right,
House,
okay,
the
sounds
great,
good. So
Australian sketch comedy group.
Yeah,
But
sorry,
they have
make
a
it
sketch
clear,
where he's
it's my
doing the
dad.
roll call in school. It is good. It's such a it's like how like British comedy is so unique compared to American. Australian comedy is so unique on its own also. But this guy, he's like a high school teacher. He's doing roll call, calling
Yeah,
all
I'm surprised
the
I haven't shown you
students'
that Joe
names.
before. I mean, it's not like Tim Robinson level, but it's a great sketch show.
All right, Joe. I'm just trying to work out the delay. But sorry, I gotta finish what I'm saying though. Yeah. All right.
Also, it was
he's
a
doing the
YouTube
roll
channel
call
for like
it starts off with regular names. There's all these crazy characters that it goes on to be funny, like Sketch Shut, and he goes,
Nice.
my
didn't
dad,
see it.
and looks over,
So-
and it's a seat that says reserved for dad, and it's not there. And
the
he
delay
starts
was
to
enough
cry,
for Dylan to think you were
and
both
it's
done
fucking
talking
hilarious.
about it.
But that's the first thing I think of whenever I see the words "my dad." Oh, that's exactly what I thought we should have done when I put this down. I just forgot. Sorry for
that is fucking hilarious. So everyone,
so
we'll make this
funny.
round quick. Yeah, it's funny. Let's make this round quick. Everyone give a quick fact about your dad to move on to the next rail. So my dad, quick facts. My dad had a blue Saab, a first generation Honda Civic, black hair, and he was fucking
my dad.
Funny,
owns his own business.
and
that
he
he's
was
been
also
running
divorced.
For, I
On to
think
you,
it's
Joe.
37 years.
My
And,
dad used to smoke cigarettes.
He
and
owns
drive
the
a
house that
Nissan
my grandfather
Maxima,
built.
and he bought me a GameCube game my birthday, and I was like, nice.
nice.
As far as I know, no, but I've heard some stories that would lead to probably. He just hasn't told me for sure.
Very cool.
So we all have different experiences with our dads in that way.
Has anyone's dad's been arrested? Because mine has.
I don't think mine has. I think that Dan must have been arrested, but maybe not. But if my dad was arrested, it was also while he was a young man because
It's
he's
a great way
lawyer
to
now, so
start
they don't really
the relationship.
let you keep your license if you get arrested for anything more important than speeding, really.
Yeah, my dad definitely has been arrested.
That's a good one.
And it was on one of his first dates with my mother. And he
Yep.
they booked
Dude, you're
a
more like your dad every day. There's a particular story about you getting pulled over and having to meet parents and stuff like that. I won't blow you up on the podcast, but I love that, and it reminds me of how your dad might have handled that situation.
I don't Oh, yeah, that was really early on.
Yeah.
No, my dad got arrested he was put in handcuffs. And
Oh, he's
they
detained.
but with handcuffs though. Like the handcuffs were on.
Yeah, you can be detained with handcuffs. They don't really charge you with anything.
This is the blue Saab, and he didn't inspect, register, or insure it for most of his time driving it.
He didn't hurt anybody, though. He's just driving a car.
Yeah, but he's my age. He met my mom when he was 31. I'm 31, and
Oh, my God. Dude, there's still
and
hope
they had
for
a
me. I get
date.
someone like your mom now.
they had a date,
lucky.
and he didn't show up to the date, and she was like, "Wow, this fucking guy blew me off. Fuck him." And then he showed up to her apartment later and was like, "Hey, I'm so sorry." And she's like, "You fuck off, you fucking asshole."
He was like, "I'm
he's
still
like,
going to
"Oh,
show
my
up.
hands."
I got
And he had
arrested. I'm
blood
still going to
coming
show
down
up.
from
I
his
don't care what
wrist
she
'cause
thinks
of-
about
because of
Oh
the
me."
my
handcuffs.
God. Dude, your dad's an absolute stone cold badass. He's like, wait a minute, I was late for the day because I got arrested. And your mom's like, nice. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used it as like a positive rather than like she should have been like, what, you got arrested while you're late? Like, yeah, I'm more mad about you being late than you being arrested. And your dad's like, no, I'm obviously I was detained and now I'm here. And your mom's like, all right.
Oh, she didn't believe it. And like my grandfather bailed him out. He's like, I gotta, like,
Oh, he had to
fuck,
bail him
you know?
out that early
Yeah,
on?
yeah, he got bailed out for this.
You gotta love family for that kind of shit. You have to.
Yeah, but handcuffs, the whole thing.
Confirmed.
So
You know, white people.
that's the only
aren't
story I
that
know
different,
about him in
you know?
handcuffs,
We're all
but I
the
wouldn't
same.
surprise me more.
That's going to the end.
That's good. Right. It's a good one. So, spin the wheel. We got one of the three of us who've had parents who've been arrested.
I really am getting hindered by the fact that Dom can't respond to what I'm saying right away.
All right.
To laugh at what I
so,
it's just like a complete piece of shit.
Everyone always thinks of KFC.
Here we go. Next time we got
herbs and spices. But what people forget about is
meat
so it's not
spin
technically herbs and spices. Is
herbs and
Jägermeister is made with 56 botanicals in the recipe, and that's why it has. Even though it still has the licoricey taste of like 56 botanicals. That's
what I thought.
56 botanicals.
How many?
50?
It just says that they dropped black licorice in the distiller pot for an
No,
hour.
I love Jaeger. Jaeger is an underrated alcohol. I mean,
Jaeger is disgusting, and I've drank
and
it more than
I will say,
dude, stop being
the Greek
shitty,
ouzo.
Dude.
Not
Jaeger's
a big fan
good.
of ouzo. The Italians,
the Irish.
Sambuca,
I
not a big
know
fan of
this,
Sambuca.
Joe, but the Irish don't have their version of this. And they're the
I can't
only
slow
one.
down. I'm trying to.
The Greeks do, the
the 5
Italians
seconds
do,
delay.
and the Germans do. The Irish
Sambuca.
don't. The English don't.
Yeah.
The Greeks
Black
have
licorice.
ouzo. The
Ouzo, yeah,
the,
exactly. Sambuca, ouzo.
What? Whoa, slow down. So we got Sambuca and Italians.
Don't forget
the
the
Greeks
French have
ouzo.
absinthe. Is
No,
Okay.
you're fine.
The Germans have Jägermeister. The Irish have fucking dick. The English have dick.
They don't
right?
have licorice fucking liquor because they have actual whiskey. Good shit. They have gin too.
That's a good point. Actually, I didn't think. Joe.
What
French.
is Germany's liquor?
Absinthe
what
is French.
Greek's
Absinthe
liquor?
is French.
It's all fucking shit.
No, Joe. You brought a really, really good point that I never thought about until this podcast. Is that the countries that I just mentioned that have the licorice flavored digestifs?
Does England have their own whiskey? No, but they are the fucking
Digestifs,
leaders in gin.
Don't have their own version of whiskey
No.
at
They
all.
just have that
Irish
shitty
do.
licorice thing.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you imagine having Greek
Europe has
whiskey?
plenty, and they
No.
stole it from everybody
Do you have
else.
Fucking German whiskey? No.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's
They have
going
gin.
back to the 56
England has actually
botanicals.
nothing.
Is one of them
unless I checked,
is
but
Dude, everyone has
the
their own
star
liquor,
anise,
except
or
for
at least
But
that's what it's
Irish,
called. That's where the liquor
Ireland,
comes from.
Scotland.
And that's apparently out of
Italy, and
56
Greece
things,
have
that's the
black licorice
strongest
syrup.
botanical in it. Is that's what
Disgusting
gives it its fucking
Yeah,
taste.
exactly,
I
and
will
that's
not
that's
fucking
not
Anna's
okay.
Christmas
Actually,
cookies
I
are
because like
disgusting.
if I were to come back as I say
Yeah.
anise.
I say it's our anus. That's all it tastes like. Why did we put the other 49 in it? What a waste of fucking time. It's only tastes like licorice. So basically what I'm saying is that you have your fucking top alcohol. Italy's like, oh, we're all wine. Germany's like, oh, we're all beer. And Greece is like, we're also wine, kind of. But their liquor is black licorice candy trash. Fuck you, and your liquor sucks. And that's it for me. That's all I have to say about it.
So, Joe, I think that the bottom line is that you've
absinthe.
made me realize this because I never really did. Is that the countries that don't have whiskey or brown drinks end up going over the top and end up with something like ouzo or sambuca or fernet or Iceland
Jägermeister.
has opal, OPAL, opal. France
taste
has
like that too?
absinthe. Huh?
It's like absinthe kind of shit.
So opal.
Absinthe tastes like black licorice too. It's like, why is that?
It does, yeah. Absinthe, but it has wormwood in it, which is the difference for absinthe. But opal, OPAL in Iceland is very Jägermeister-y, and that's their version of it, and I love it. It's good. But those countries don't have whiskey.
Over like 150, 200 years, they're like, all right, we're all distilling alcohol, and it tastes terrible. How do we cut this down and make it good? And Scotland and Ireland are like, well, you have to pour more wheat in there and let it distill over years and years, and then collective middle of
Yeah, and honestly, I think Canada
black
is embarrassed to
licorice
admit that they make
Perfect
Fireball, because
cover
everyone always
for
forgets that it is
alcohol.
Canadian
Perfect
whiskey,
cover.
but it's
It's
just
like
so well known
Fireball
as being a
was your
white trash
national
American
drink.
thing.
Like
That
cinnamon
Canada's
is
like, yeah,
covering the
go say
liquor
that.
in
We're not even
Fireball.
going to mention that
And
we're the ones
Jägermeister
making
is
it
like,
for you.
It tastes like licorice. It tastes delicious.
Yeah,
hate
schnapps
tasting
is
licorice.
some good, low
So
quality
I love it.
alcohol.
Fireball sucks, dude.
Yeah, you think it's
So
like
white trash.
I mean, all the McGillicuddy stuff is all schnapps. And also, Germany already has schnapps. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So my also thing too is that.
Oh, well,
like,
that's completely different. No, so what I was
Duos,
talking about with the
which
15 year
I
is
have
it's
been
still
a
clear,
familiar
but
of-
it has a gold bottle.
Of the white label,
We're talking about
Joe,
two different
but the
bottle
black
colors.
label.
That's
the
a
brown
improvement
ones,
on the
though.
conversation,
The brown
Joseph.
doers.
It's
that's
a brown
the
bottle. The label's still white, but it's a 12-year scotch
It's
for
garbage.
fucking
We're not,
30
all right,
bucks.
We're not doing this again. We already talked about this.
All
We're not
right,
talking
so
about
the white label,
We're
the
moving
white
on.
label is the $20 bottle.
That's cool.
The dark bottle
What did the
first
wheel
one is
land
the
on?
$30, $10 more, and then there's like a real one, whatever it is. And my thing is that it's
Oh. Well, I can see it. This is weird. I'm not
this
used to
one
this.
I bought, which is like the Christmas package. It came with like ginger beer. It's like you need to mix it,
Cute.
and then I had a $80 bottle of scotch.
Yeah, we haven't spun it yet. We're moving on. We're done with that one.
Okay.
Can't see you.
Quite the waterfall.
Waterfall. Yeah, so the first waterfall I ever saw was in Hudson, Massachusetts, on the way
Danforth
to
Falls?
Bolton.
Yeah, Danforth Falls. That was the first thing I thought of too, Dylan. Danforth Falls is like
Wow.
it's a small waterfall, but it sticks in my head as like a waterfall. It's probably like a 7-foot waterfall.
It'll be high and
It's
dry.
not very big. I'd probably call it 15, but
Really?
it's like a water falling off
wrong.
of a rock.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, and it changes for the seasons where it's super dry. It won't even actually run at all. It'll be like kind of dripping. But then when it's at the end of winter and all the snow melts, you'll see it rushing like a gushing water country. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it literally not flowing at all, and there's leaves building up on it. And I've also seen it rushing so much.
Another
it's
really
like
good waterfall is
like basically like a
in
little,
Catskills, New York.
train for,
There's the hiking
for
trails
West
around there.
America.
There's some
But I love
great
the place.
waterfalls where they even,
Yeah, so
they
there's
even
that.
have
There's
the
some
little-
good waterfalls
the
in the
wooden
mountains.
platforms
Then in
sticking
Iceland,
out.
I've seen a couple.
You can walk to the
But
point
that's
of
about
you
it.
get
I've never
missed
seen
by
nice
it.
ones.
And then
Yeah,
then
it's,
also
I've been there
a year
many,
ago
many
I
times.
drove
One time
to
it was
Niagara Falls.
flooded, and they said stay off the red trail, but that sign was past. That's
The viewing
it's a good question.
platforms.
It's one of those two actually.
That's always cool.
I as a child I have been
that
to
the
the
Poconos?
Poconos
Is
multiple
that what
times, and
that
I've been
is?
to the
Poconos is
Catskills
more
multiple times. We used to do vacation there. They're both great areas.
west.
Why were
Nope.
you in the Catskill Mountains?
Nope, it was
many
because
times
we
as a
liked
child?
vacationing there.
I've never even heard
Well,
of
the
this.
So we like to
Poconos
go.
are like
It's a great area.
Pennsylvania.
Was it to visit Mac and Allie or the other your parents went? Like, why were you in the Catskills? Oh, well, that's fucking sick.
Very
That's
cool.
good stuff. I just didn't know that. But Dylan brings up obviously the most famous waterfall for Americans, which is Niagara
I didn't
Falls,
know
which
that-
was
oh,
last
never
year.
mind.
Could you please tell us, Dylan, about your experience there? Because you went. From
Yeah,
there-
thanks, Joe. I
picked
appreciate
me up
being
from the
brought
airport,
on to this
and
to
I
talk
was
about
like-
Niagara
I feel like an
Falls.
idiot. I was about to say I didn't know
Niagara
Detroit was
Falls
at
on
Niagara
the
Falls.
American
You were
side is,
describing the place
Detroit.
as saying it was like Detroit.
If you've ever been
I
to
understand
Detroit,
that.
it's the same thing. You can go have some. You can crush a bunch of beers.
You mean because
Oh,
of
go
the
on. Yeah,
low
it's
quality
very
of the
Detroit-y.
situations? Gotcha.
So you got like
Yeah, I was trying to clarify that for the listeners. Yeah, he means.
Yeah, I know.
similar
It's a
to
good thing.
Detroit.
Yeah, it's just north of Buffalo, like right
Buffalo
there.
is the
Like
city.
it's like
Yeah.
10 minutes from Buffalo or 20. Yeah, it's a good time. I enjoy my time in Niagara Falls, but I stayed at a hostel, and Niagara Falls itself is pretty mind blowing. But you get there and you go, all right, this is it. Like this is exactly
Oh,
what
is
I
this
thought
that
it'd be.
story on how
Cool.
where you go down to
This is it.
Indiana?
And I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I almost
you
got
drive
robbed
20
there.
hours
It
to
was
the airport
cool.
To pick up your buddy to go to a fucking.
Yeah, but dude, I got there at exactly the same time you caught out of security.
Every time I
Give it
tell
that.
that story, I can't convey the serendipity. Yeah,
Yep.
I can never convey like how much my mind was blown, and how happy I was to see you. Like it was the best airport experience I've ever had. It was going for me leaving and having no one pick me up. An hour drive, my Uber got canceled, and Nicole's like, "Yeah, your Uber's canceled." I'm like, "What?"
No,
the
airports
fuck?
are great.
And
Joe's
she
an
goes,
idiot.
"I have to
Airports
tell
are
you something
awesome.
else. Not only are you gonna have a ride there, it's gonna be your best friend Dylan." And I was like,
It's gonna be
my
Dylan from the
mind
Dylan Joe
was-
Basement
That
podcast
is
is picking
absolutely
you up.
crazy.
as
Every time
he's
I hear the
coming
story, I
through.
still can't believe it.
And
It's
every
And
time
it
I'm
was
in the airport,
timed-
I'm miserable.
Dom,
Every time-
it was timed perfectly. It was
I
insane.
waited maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Joe probably
Well,
waited 10 minutes.
I got
Came
one more
from
thing
fucking
to say
Niagara
about
Falls, and he showed
Niagara
up
Falls,
exactly the time my
and
plane
that's
landed, and I was
if you're
delayed
new
too,
to this
so it's-
podcast,
And I didn't.
you
I
know
didn't.
one
Had
thing
no
about all this
plans
stuff,
being it, but Nicole
check
and me
out
like,
the first
yeah,
Gold
I'll
Line,
see,
talk about
but I'm
Daredevils, and
fucking.
talk
I
about,
don't goddamn know.
I mean,
what's
it
her
blew my
face?
And,
tits right
First
off.
person to go
I don't
over
have
the
tits
Niagara
anymore,
Falls.
'cause they got blown
Doesn't even
off.
Tootsie More. We
Yeah,
had a
don't
great
talk
time.
like you
It
were
was
on that
really
episode,
fun.
Dylan.
Oh right, yeah, going over the
Ooh,
falls.
we did, dude. Yeah, we did. It was a female too, right? No, but I do listen to things every now and then and watch
And
them.
also, Dylan did do the Harry Houdini episode where we first talked about it, so it's a running
We
theme
did.
for the podcast.
Yes. But I think before we go to our next topic, it should be a commercial break because everyone's
I
supposed to have to
agree.
go to the
I
bathroom.
have to use the bathroom as well.
See you guys after the bathroom. Yeah. Hey, Dominic, bring us back.
All right. I can't tell if it's recording or not because, like everything else in my life, my computer is running into the ground. But we're here at the Dylan Joe Basement Podcast, and we're spinning the wheel. We're doing a meat spin. Let's get spun. It's the fourth wheel spin on this podcast. We're about halfway through. Let's see what's going to come up next.
Well, and not just go let's fun. Let's get meat, dude. Because this is the meat spin.
It is the meat spin.
So here we go.
Spinning
We're
of the meat.
spinning on the meat spin, and green things.
I don't know, green things.
My
first
first thought,
thing
because
I-
I'm gonna go.
Dom, you have to let Dylan go first because you made the wheel.
First thought,
Well, but Dom,
I'm
you're
gonna
on
take it-
delay,
I'm
so
gonna-
I can't
okay.
tell where you're at.
Okay.
But it's okay, Dom. My first thought is that when you take too much Pepsid AC, so say you take
Green things.
you take one or you take two Pepsid AC, which was sort of a replacement for
Never have.
Zantac or whatever, and you have it's a
It's
amphetamine, not amphetamine. It's a
Not amphetamine. It's
not
like
amphetamine.
a anti gastrointestinal. It's like Pepto-Bismol kind of thing.
it
right?
is.
It
You're
stops,
right,
like,
Joe.
acid reflux.
You got it, but it actually works off of the antihistamine blockers.
Is that right? I didn't know.
It is. It's It's actually an antihistamine blocker B. So, if you
Wait,
have
so it stops
allergies,
the
you can take
antihistamines
Pepsid or
from acting?
Zantac. Yeah, it's like a combo thing. If you take too much of that, you have green poop.
Is that? Oh wow, this is news to me.
Yeah.
Well, that is very interesting. I mean, I've had green
Yeah,
poop
yeah,
before,
green
but I never did
things.
that. I mean, I've never
Green
taken any
things.
of that, so I
M.I.M.
don't
had
know.
green poop.
Yeah, if you take too
Green
much, you have
M&M.
green poop. And that's my green thing.
Yeah,
so on
I-
to the next.
It's not green, but I've never taken any Tums or Pepto Bismol or any I've never had to take any of that before. Did I just disappear? I just disappeared, didn't I?
No, you're
Yeah,
here. That's
yeah,
cool.
you're gone.
Well, Pepto-Bismol, if you take it before you sleep, it will turn your tongue black.
Really? This is
Yes.
crazy. No,
You
I mean
drink
I
it?
had never taken the anti-digestive like helper things like Tums or like Alka-Seltzer or Pepsid. But
Jeez,
the
you guys are
older I
right. Like
get-
I've been taking these things for like decades.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
take
that's why I know
drugs for
we're right.
everything. If
You're
you sneeze
not.
one time,
You don't.
take,
You're
like,
not
20
supposed to
pills
need
get
that
over
stuff. You're supposed to be able to handle it
You
without
take
it.
pills for every single thing in the world, so you're not. In
I
control
I
study.
eat really
But I'm the-
healthy,
I'm the
and I
opposite
need these
in that.
things.
I'm not. You don't need everything though. I'm saying like you don't need to take Pepto Bismol at all. You don't even need to take Tums. It just makes you feel better, and that's why I should take them because the older I get, now I actually want them. Like when I was a kid, you feel bad for like 5 minutes. You're like, oh, my tummy feels bad. It's like get over it. You wait for a little longer. Your little young person body just.
So
bounces
hold on.
back. But
So
now,
you're telling me that
I eat-
if you ever
I eat
have like a
something-
stomach ache, you just like you're just gulping Pepto Bismol. You don't just fucking go through it like a
Dylan
man
is
and suck it
definitely
up and
as
it
soon as
goes
he feels
away?
anything, he's
No,
taking it,
I'm
right?
not. Oh Jesus
Oh yes,
Christ!
you are.
No, I do not
As soon
take
as you tell
anything
me
unless I
you're
need
taking
it.
like 8 Tums in a second, I know you.
I don't take Tums. I don't take
All right, well,
Tums.
whatever you take for
The
if you
only
feel
thing
bad,
I
you
take-
medicine.
The only thing I take is Pepsid, which is ranitidine, and I take that because I have like
And he
really
knows all
bad
the actual
stomach
names, the scientific names.
acid, whatever it is, and Tums doesn't do shit. So this isn't common, but I don't need to take it unless I drink way too much. So my hangover is worse if I don't take them. So it's an alcohol related
I'm
thing.
not
It's not
saying
like,
it's a
oh,
bad
I have,
idea. I'm just
I have
saying you're
diarrhea.
well
Oh, I
aware
have dick
of when
pain.
you
Oh, I
feel a
have
problem.
fucking whatever it is. I don't take a lot of
immediately to
drugs.
solve it.
I don't take a lot of
I,
drugs.
don't know,
I'm not
I
a
just
drug
think it's
person.
wild that you're like, you guys
not a
don't.
bad
Are you
thing to
normal?
take
Are you
medicine.
okay? I've never been in a feeling where I'm like, oh, I need to look up. Like, do I need to drink something to fix this? I've never been like that mentality. I've always been like,
Yeah,
oh, I feel like
don't-
shit.
I mean,
It'll go
only
away.
I definitely
now that I worry
have.
about it.
I definitely
When
have.
it's
I definitely
like-
have a stomach weakness in my body where it's brutal. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
And I take
know I've had that too. Where,
Pepsid.
like, now
It
I used to be
helps.
able to like eat a whole entire pizza, but now if I eat a whole entire pizza, like I need to like take like fucking Pepsid or whatever the like. The
But dude, I
things
could
are
eat a whole
to get
entire
over
pizza
it.
today and I don't even take anything. It's only alcohol that causes my problems.
Oh yeah, that helps. But I mean that hurts the.
Yeah, I don't have
sure.
problems with
I'm
food
just
at
saying that
all.
you're more.
It's
I
only
mean,
because I drank too much.
Yeah, and I say it's not a knock on you. What you're doing is you're caring about your health and you're trying to address the subject. But I'm saying that maybe people like me and Dom are like we feel the same feeling where we just go like and you just like deal with it and go to bed rather than being like I need help. Like my body is telling me something's wrong here. I need to take something to feel better now. It's like I just let it ride out and I just suffer through it like an idiot. Like, just take something for it. Like why shouldn't I take Pepto-Bismol? Instead, I just feel nausea for 3 hours like an idiot, and I just go, "Oh,
Yeah.
I felt bad today," you know.
Yeah, most
I'm not
most
saying
of
I'm
those
better than you, I'm
things,
just saying
most of
that
those
you
things like
address it
Pepsid or
immediately.
Why
Pepto.
take it if
are
it's only
benign.
a couple
Look at
hours? It's
Dylan's
not
medicine
worth the
cabinet,
effort to go
it's
buy
full.
and drink something. It's just fucking sit through it. It's fucking
I have
part of
nothing in my
life.
medicine cabinet.
No, it's all cool, but Dom, just so you know, these things are very single molecule based medicine, so they're benign. So if you
What
take
single molecule? Are you doing marketing for the fucking drug companies?
no, I'm just
Oh,
saying is that
single
like
molecule
a
based.
lot of these things
Who
are
cares
pretty
how big the
benign. It's like
molecule is? It either works.
well,
or
they're
Someone
just
showed up
concentrated
with a
versions
side
of
effect
drinking
and said,
of
"Hey,
drinking pickle
Dylan, if you
juice.
sell
You know,
this,
like
you could have a Maserati
Hey,
someday.
Dylan, uranium is a single atom. It'll still fuck the shit
exactly.
up.
I'm just saying is that like it's not like it's this like crazy contraption. It's like it's one derivative of salt.
It's a
you know,
drug.
that
It's a drug to make you feel better.
right, but that's okay
get it.
sometimes.
It's not
So
a
it's
bad
not going to
idea.
cause any damage. But if you've got to this point in your late 20s or early 30s without shit, then I mean, all the power to you. I mean, like that's what's up. I mean, I'm pro
none of
you. Do not
No
listen to me.
Tums have touched my tongue. No Pepto have touched my intesto.
Tums and Pepto can cause kidney stones, and it's a fact. Don't take it unless you need it. So, let's go. Spin the meat on the meat spin. Spinning the meat. Meaterino. Legend.
Heroes are remembered, but legends never die.
Yeah, Joe, so you
That's
go
what I
first
think.
because I went last time.
So that's the first thing I thought of was the Sandlot quote: "For heroes are remembered, but legends never die." And I always thought about that as a kid. It reminded me of like you can have your cake but eat it too. Where it's one of those phrases where it's like commonly said, you're like, didn't you say it wrong? Like, what's the point of that? But I take it as this: heroes are remembered being like you're like a heroic figure. You've granted some kind of prestige in your life. But legends are things that aren't just supposed to be blowing up somebody. They're actually supposed to be like telling us some kind of tale. So legends can be of people failing. They can be of tragedy. They can be of comedy. They can be whatever. And they last the test of time because no one remembers the most famous guy in Persia in the year 1200, but they remember like legendary tales of things like the Tower of Babel or the Epic of Gilgamesh or something like that. I mean, I think that legends are more famous than their heroes that are in them. Like, you can become a legend by being not a happy figure or like a sought after figure. You can just be like, this is a story like of, you know, someone fucking up or someone doing a great act. Legends live on, and it's so true. We have legends from before there was writing, and heroes are like, you know, David Ortiz, which he's a hero to me, but in 30 years, he'll be disappeared, but the legend of Johnny Appleseed will live on, even though he's no hero. I wouldn't call Johnny Appleseed a hero, but he's definitely a legend. And he will
Definitely a
live
legend.
much
Yeah,
longer
there's
than
that.
David Ortiz, the baseball player.
It's kind of like legend. It's often like a to George Herbert Walker. Bush.
Bush?
It's hero. Yeah, the first George Bush. He used to go like this when he was talking about getting together.
Sure.
You get your heroes. You get your like. It's What's the words I'm trying to say? Basically, I'm trying to say is legend is like it's one of those words where it connects fiction and nonfiction. It works in both sets. It's like, oh, this guy, oh, he's a legend. He never. Then you get Larry Legend, fucking, popping basketball shots from behind the backboard, getting it in. It's
right. He's real.
It's just a mix, and yeah, it's There's more. I'll just to stop mumbling. It's a word that it connects fiction and nonfiction in a way that we don't even realize it in everyday life. We just kind of use it.
I think it's true because if you call someone like a hometown hero, or you call something a myth, one's fiction, one's nonfiction, but legend, to quote HW, brings you together.
Yeah, it's a league.
League of Legends.
You got that right. So, all right. I think that we nailed that one down. Spin the meat.
Spin that meat.
Spin.
You spin my meat round, baby, right? Round like a meat in a spinning, right? Meat spin.
I don't know what this is.
So Angelology, this was one of the things where on the word generator, I clicked the option
Angelology.
Strange word. And Angelology is, so when you do the strange word, it gives you some options and it gives you the definition. Angelology is the study of angels.
All right,
which
so
is something I
exactly
never knew existed.
Angelology.
But yeah, it's followed the basic formula of what ology is the suffix for, and yeah, that's what it is. Like
ology
yeah,
means
so that's what
the
angelology
study of,
is.
and the world's just angels. Yeah. I've never heard this before, but what do you guys think about angels?
My first thing about angels is everyone, angels in outfield.
Well, I know they're in the outfield. Let's get that out of the way. We
but
both said it. Even with the delay, we still said the same time.
Oh,
they're in the outfield. That's for sure.
I love seeing there's a lot of these computer generated images now of biblically accurate angels. Because everyone always thinks of, it's a genderless
it's a man with
human
wings.
being in a dress with wings and a halo. But no, like if you actually read the Bible, what the angels were, it's like, oh, it's a ball of feathers with 400 eyes.
Yeah, rings of
like
eyes.
they're terrifying.
Terrifying,
That's why people you always read like, oh, the people they were stuck in fear of the angel. It's like, but if it looks like a person, that makes no sense because it's something you could never imagine appears in front of you.
It seems
it's just straight up Anunnaki. Brendan Sage Collins would appreciate me saying that.
No, I appreciate that. So my thought on this is that like I perpetually and constantly make bad decisions constantly about my life and my future. And I really hope that there's a guardian angel out there just like kind of dialing that in a little bit and, making some of the changes a little bit. And that's kind of my thought on that. And that guardian angel, I'd be blessed beyond all measures for it to be a 74-eyed fucking Mike Wazowski bullshit.
Well, I will say the closest I've ever seen
I'd be honored.
to like
cool. That guy's watching out for me, and it's all good.
Is in the movie Constantine, which with the master Keanu Reeves, they have Gabriel, the archangel, in it. But it's I believe it's Tilda Swinton. I'm not totally sure who plays it, but they use Gabriel as is completely genderless. You can't tell by looking at the character. Like
Tilda Swinton is genderless, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's are you a man? Are you? I don't know. That's what angels are supposed to be.
Somewhere between.
And that's the closest I've ever seen to like an accurate angel in pop culture. is in Constantine.
I think it's worth bringing up the fact
that
the closest I ever got to that was both in acid and DMT trips. The rings of eyes I have seen outside of when you have dreams, things like that, your mind kind of fills in the blanks. Like, I'll have a day where I learn something about, like, oh my gosh, elm trees they burn easily, and how I dream about, like, elm trees burning. You can draw a direct line from, like, I learned that today, my mind processed it, I had a dream about it. But when I have seen things from the other side, whether it's true or not, which I don't believe it is true, but in your mind, the rings of eyes that I've seen. I mean, I've literally seen ribbons full of eyes staring you down. Just row after row of eyes. So, pot or kettle.
But how do you feel about that, dude? If you're in DMT and you're seeing ribbons of eyeballs that are interactive. It was
all eyes. It was ribbons coming down of eyes. And
I watched him experience it, and it affected you for sure.
And the female
That's where we got the very famous to us, anyways, where Joe opens his eyes and we go, "No, dude, you got to close your eyes," and my eyes are closed, and they have never been more open in his entire life.
But I couldn't see anything in the room. But yeah, the figure I saw, she had, I wouldn't say 3 faces, but like 2.5 faces, where it's this one, and it was eyes.
Oh, 2.5 is worse than 3, 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that maybe I more likely think that the people who experienced that and wrote it down gone through an experience like that in their mind and thought this must be an angel or whatever. But if I want to play devil's advocate or God's advocate, I could say they might have seen what it's like to really see a celestial being, and then they had a peek into the next realm. But I think it's worth bringing up that, like, eyes are a common thing with hallucinations, as far as, drugs that bring you into your brain. And one of my most famous experiences for me when I was on acid was literally closing I could see in the room, everything's melting and colorful, and my friends are there. I'm like, okay, we're cool. And I closed my eyes, and I just literally saw a spinning pyramid. It looks like a Windows XP screensaver, where I was flying at a spinning pyramid with an eye on top of it, and it was all neon color, black neon, black neon all the way through.
Wild.
If I open my eyes, it's the room. Close my eyes, I'm soaring towards the pyramid with the eye on top. It looks like a fucking Illuminati dollar bill video. And as soon as I could say, oh, maybe that's my brain taking these things in like a dream function, but I never cared about any of that stuff. And maybe that is some kind of like common sociological part of being a human, that you, like, part of your brain thinks that kind of shit, but I can't explain it. And I won't.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And that's fucking angelology, a word that none of us had ever thought of before this. The amount of different studies there are is endless.
It's like studying chupacabra, though. Like, how much credit should we give you? It's not real.
Yeah, chupacabrology.
Or is it, though? Cryptology.
Let's not also forget Dominic Cabrology.
Nice, Dominic Cabrology. Also, combustion, spelled with C-U-M. To be silly, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, combustion. Yeah, that's completely different than combustion.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think you should have been.
Oh, we're almost done with this wheel?
And then hyphen.
So my first thought about combustion is, like, if you're...
I come, then I bust.
No. So a lot of people don't know this, but, like, jizz comes from your prostate, and sperm comes from your balls.
You mean cum shot?
And pee also comes from the balls.
You know that it's stored in the
balls. I think a lot of people don't realize this. Like, when you do your big load, all that stuff.
Yep.
Excuse me?
Very minute amount of it is sperm. There's so many other. That's why it's called semen. It's not called sperm. It's like,
okay, I have a confession.
Every grain of salt you've ever had, that's where it goes.
Can I tell you guys something?
Please.
Sure, go for it. Provided you want to be on YouTube.
I have combustioned onto a microscopic glass.
No, that's really cool. No, that's cool.
And then
that's awesome. Weird, but it's cool.
And then looked at it through a microscope immediately.
You're like a real.
I did this as a science experiment during COVID because I was bored.
Did you see some Michael Phelps swimming around there?
You weren't the only one.
Thanks, Joe. No, I put my own combustion onto a slide and put the thing on top of it, and then
yeah. But you're saying is there? Is there a microscope
honestly,
in where you're right now? Do you have a microscope there?
Yes.
That's okay. Next
Let
time
him
I'm there,
finish the story.
I want to use the microscope.
I need
All right,
to hear
just go to the
about
bathroom and you can
for
do it.
combustion,
Like
though.
it'll take very quickly to figure it out. But
Dylan, keep
couldn't.
talking, please.
I couldn't believe my eyes. Couldn't believe it.
What
I
were
was
they
like,
moving around? They're wiggling.
Dude, I
you see
saw
them?
thousands of them, like little fish,
You looked at
That
your
must
children.
be a certain. I mean, that's,
flying around, and I was like, "There's no
as the
way."
kids say. I already quoted. You must have felt a certain type of way about that.
Yeah, I did. This is a $30 Amazon microscope.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I went onto, and I saw it all, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Don't you hate when you come on your microscope and your mom walks in?
You do, but they're alive and they're there. Like I took like a Q-tip dab, and then did a real formal process, and I was like,
"Did you watch it long
holy
enough, or
shit.
have you ever had the thought
Science.
to watch it long enough to see them die?"
I didn't watch them die, but I would
Have
felt
you ever
very
thought
sad
of
if they
doing
would.
it again and watching for it?
But every time that you fucking
Have you
watch
tried
your
to make
old
leather out of it?
Pornhub, good question. No, but dude, they're there. Like I'm telling you, if you have a microscope, you should try it out.
I believe in
Any of our
sperm.
listeners, like, just put
Yeah.
it on a slide and take a look. Like, it doesn't require an expensive microscope. They're not that small.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my god, this is it. Like, they're like little wiggly tails in a ball. Like,
That's fucking
and there's
wild.
thousands of them.
Can I borrow
It
your
was
microscope?
People
really
go to the
weird.
hospital
I mean,
for it. They never actually see it themselves, but you actually did the research.
I saw my own. I saw my own because I was bored
That's
during
wild.
COVID in my apartment. I was like,
Wow.
I have a microscope. I can't think out what else to look at. I could look at
Maggie,
fruit
if you're
or
still
whatever.
watching this, I feel bad for you.
She's not.
Yeah, so
Turned
so
it off
one thing is
an hour in.
I know that I'm like a heavy hitter. They're working. Like for what I saw, they looked good. They looked real good. They weren't like
I went to high school
slow
with a kid,
and
or
like
his,
lame.
his
They were
didn't have
like
tails.
really. They were tadpoles that were like hardcore. Like these guys are fucking
Pollywog.
fighting hard. So I know that.
Pollywag.
So just saying, if you guys have a
Polly-
microscope, it's pretty fun to take a look. And I literally did
Was
it
this-
just for the sake
was
of
this
looking
still
at them. I didn't
under
go like,
angelology?
oh, let me take a look. Huh?
What wheel spin topic are we talking about here? Are we talking about
I don't know. I
magnifying?
already
Guardian Angels?
eliminated it. No, it was combustion.
Oh, combustion. Right. Combustion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So if anyone who's out there is trying to have a kid with me, that last I checked, they're pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, they're in good shape.
Meat spin.
So back to the meat spin.
that meat.
We're on.
Unicron.
Okay, Unicorn. All I know is that Amanda, Dom's sister, had unicorn folders because she was a horse girl.
Horses run deep.
They run deep, but she was a horse girl, and
But
the
to
only
be
horse
fair,
girl
she
I
wasn't
ever
the kind
liked,
of horse
by the
girl.
way.
She was
the
not
only
the
horse girl I
horse
ever
girl
liked.
that made neighing sounds and galloped around. She just liked horses and worked on a horse farm all through high school.
Yeah, I know, but she was quiet
She
in
might
middle
have been
school.
the
But she
horse
had
girl,
that
but she was
blue
still-
lightningy unicorn folder.
still a horse
I
girl.
know
Yeah, no, I
this.
remember it.
Dom is trying to
I've
shrug it
definitely
off
seen
because
it.
it's his sister. He's like, oh, she's not weird. She's not a horse girl. Like, no, for like a good 8 years of her
No, I'm
life,
trying to
she was
shrug
a
it off
full-on
because
horse.
horses are fucking awesome.
Horses are fucking awesome.
great.
Thanks, Dom. Yeah, horses are fucking great. I agree with that. But she's the only horse girl I ever liked. Like the rest of them were like
Yeah.
rich and shit, and like fucking lame and like not
Yeah, she was a real
relatable.
blue collar horse girl.
She was a real blue collar horse girl, you know, like and funny. I liked her. So she had she had her blue lightning
I don't wanna make this all about
Mustang
Amanda.
unicorn folder. She got a pass on that. No one else would.
I'm gonna bring up this unicorn because unicorn is a common term now on the internet. It's like it's gaining resurgence. And unicorn on the internet means like someone who's so rare that you couldn't find them. It's like a girl.
Yeah, true.
Who
Yeah, I got the
gets
unicorn
along with all the
Pokemon
shit,
card.
but
Swingers.
also is cool. Or
Works
whatever.
with
It's
swingers,
unicorn.
too.
It's, like, it's rare. It's like if a bodybuilder was like good with kids or something like that. Like, oh, it's a unicorn. Like, it's hard to find it. But I want to bring this up. is the unicorn the most likely mythical animal to ever exist? Like,
No.
is it the most?
Yes, because
like,
of narwhals. Yes.
Literally, it's just
yes, because of
the
narwhals,
horn.
but
Also,
Yeah, Dom, you're
unicorns
right,
are
'cause
the natural
narwhals
animal
exist.
of Scotland.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
narwhals
they're
are fucking insane. I can't believe they're even real. But no, there's a lot of
Also,
other
the
mythical
type of whale
creatures
that they
out there that I
can't-
think
they-
are more
absolutely,
likely.
they cannot survive in captivity. They've
All right, well, I
tried.
wanna
They
hear
die in
about it
captivity
then.
no matter what.
What's
Yes,
more
narwhals
likely,
do. You're right.
What's more likely than a same with the great white sharks? What's more likely than literally is a horse with a horn? I mean, a centaur.
You can't say anything is more likely than a unicorn because octopuses are real, and unicorns
No, I'm
fake.
talking about
That
Yeah,
makes
Dom.
no
No.
sense.
Joe. Listen to Dom, dude.
I'm talking about mythical
Octopuses
animals.
are more alien than anything that's
I'm
ever
not
touched
asking
this
you
planet.
what's weirder than a unicorn. I'm asking you what animals that don't exist are more likely to exist scientifically than a unicorn.
No, that's why I'm
asking what
saying
animal's
nothing
weirder.
is more likely to
I know
exist
about
than a
a
unicorn
tardigrade. I know about
because
weird animals.
octopus
Don't
already
fucking tell me
exists.
that shit.
Nothing, no
Well, I think it
mythical
comes down to the
being
fact
or
that-
That is
creature
such
is
a-
more
that's
likely
not
than a unicorn.
Completely against the spirit of what I'm saying, Dom. And okay, it's
No,
cute.
it's
You
a
know about
great
weird
defense
animals.
against
All right.
it.
No,
That's
no,
why
I get you, but
there's
like,
nothing
what
more realistic than unicorns because there's already things that are less realistic
You're
that
not even answering
exist.
the question. You're answering like a politician. You're not fucking answering the question.
No,
I
what
answered
a
the question. I
question.
said nothing
Oh, you didn't. You go,
is more realistic
Well, if weird
than
animals
unicorn.
exist, then they must all exist. I mean, have you ever heard of a fucking
I'm
jellyfish?
saying, you say what's more, what other than unicorns more realistic to exist? Unicorns have to exist because compared to mythological
I said
creatures, they're the most
mythical
basic.
animals.
Yeah, sorry, I keep
octopuses
using the
are
wrong
a
words,
mythical
but
animal.
we're saying this.
Octopuses are Dominic's right
No,
about
no,
octopuses.
No, he's
Like,
not right.
Saying,
He is.
no, this is what I'm saying. This is
What
what I'm
is
saying.
the other mythical
You're asking,
animal
is
more
there
likely
any
to exist than
mythical
unicorn? You go,
animal
jellyfish.
more likely than unicorns? And now I'm saying unicorns are the
Answer
most.
it.
There's nothing more likely than a unicorn because
So we agree.
if a unicorn
so we
can
agree.
exist, why? Yeah, we've been agreeing the whole time.
I
I'm
didn't
saying,
realize
yeah.
that. I thought you go, well, octopuses are more likely to exist than unicorns because they do exist. Completely missing.
All right,
No, I'm
listen,
using it as a reason to prove why they're most likely.
Unicorns
I
don't
didn't
exist for
realize
the
that.
same reason that
I wouldn't have argued
we're
with
not
you.
seeing fucking apes right now half converting to humans.
Or to
You
Christianity.
hear me? Like right now, you're like,
hear you,
all right,
though.
so if we evolved
follow
from
you.
fucking apes and gorillas and shit, why aren't we seeing like half fucking
I think
us,
it's like Pokemon.
half
They think it's like
gorilla,
Pokemon
half
where you have to,
grayback
like, kinda
gorilla
transform.
shit going on right now? Because
I honestly
I
have no
don't.
patience for that. People who don't understand how evolution works. Like, when I was like in college and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird people don't understand it. Now I have no patience for it. If you think that monkeys
It's
turn into
completely
people
bonkers.
in a week, you're a fucking idiot, and I don't have time for you at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
at
just
the
don't.
very least, it takes like 1 billion years for a monkey to take a turn to me.
It takes,
Well, not a
But-
billion.
Obviously, that number is wrong, but like the idea is exactly on point. Like it takes forever.
No, I know,
Takes
but
so
I believe
long.
I believe in
Squirrels have been
evolution.
around
Don't get
for,
me
like, a
wrong.
million
Don't be
years.
wrong.
Squirrels. You know,
Look,
it's
dude,
like,
don't get me
I mean,
wrong
to be
about
fair,
evolution, but
Kevin
I also
Costner
I firmly
evolved
believe
to
that
having
like
gills in Waterworld.
yeah, that's
look,
not,
listen. I believe in evolution. I
not how it
really am not a disbeliever in that. But to make
It's not
fucking
even believing.
me
It's understanding.
out of a goddamn gorilla, I really think that there's a seed
right, but no one
transpermia
ever,
thing going on.
gorillas didn't humans didn't transform for gorillas. Their ancient ancestors split off, and some of them became gorillas.
We're
and
our
some of them
own
became
thing.
humans.
We're
Yeah, we
not
all banged
gorilla.
our way out of it. We all banged our
No,
way
no,
out
no,
of
One way to
gorilla.
say it.
A gorilla banged
most-
another
No, no, no,
gorilla that was
was
like
later.
not
Gorilla
as much
was
gorilla.
later. And so now I'm realizing Dylan said the same thing. The gorillas didn't turn into humans and bang your way out of it. Gorillas are recent. Gorillas are one of the newest species on the planet.
Yeah, I
and so are
got
humans.
that, but
There's an older ape that was a common ancestor of both of us, right? So you didn't bang your way out of both of it. Us and gorillas, why they call them cousins is because they exist.
I
in the
choose
same-
to believe what I am programmed to believe.
Yeah. Chimpanzees and gorillas and humans are some of the newest species on the planet. And our ancestors that made us similar are old as
Horseshoe
fuck,
crabs
old and all.
unchanged for over 100 million years.
good call,
All
Dom.
time.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
right.
for sure. Yeah, horseshoe crabs are fucking badass.
They're
millions
from
of
before
years.
dinosaurs. They're from before
All right, next
sharks.
topic. This one's
Yeah, you're right.
How many
fucking-
spins do we got left? We got
Dylan's
2, right?
got like
We got
3.
2 left. We have to hurry the shit up. I'm about done with this shit. And so is all the listeners at this
left.
point. We're like
Let's
3 hours
let's
into
do this one and then we'll do a break and we'll finish off the last one.
That's what I'm
fine.
talking about right
The last
there. Yeah.
one, the second to last one I should say is displace.
Well, spin it.
Sorry, I forgot to. I'm trying to help Dom's bandwidth and not fuck up the whole recording.
God, I wish I.
Oh, don't even fucking bother.
Displace. My girlfriend in second grade's house burnt down.
Courtney can't.
She was displaced.
First thing I thought of was like, where do you live? Oh, I live in Displace. Terrible
Displace,
joke.
nice.
Worth
yeah,
it though.
like kind of
Wow.
shitty ghetto. Appreciate that.
No, who can forget the classic displacement.
Trail of Tears.
Eureka. The fucking man
Displacement.
Yeah.
That was Eureka was invented by Archimedes.
Yeah, that does sound right. I'm not entirely sure, but that does sound similar.
You
was
always use the word
Archimedes?
invented, but
The
invented is
king,
not the right word.
the king.
No, he said Eureka because he's fat. He's a fat fuck.
Well, the reason he figured out is because
Eureka
the king came to him
I found it
and said, "I need
I know,
you
but
to
he's a
prove
fat
to me
fuck.
that this crown that I sent out 20 gold bars to get a crown made. How do I know that they used all 20 gold bars to make it? How do I know that they didn't put filler in?" And he was trying to figure out, well, how do I figure out what this is? And it wasn't until he got into his bathtub and the water rose, as the story goes, and he went, Eureka! And he got up and he ran naked through the streets to the king and said, "I know how to solve your problem.
Discovered.
Give me 20 gold bars and give me your crown and give me a tub of water. And I can find out if I put the 20 gold bars in and it goes up 10 centimeters and your crown only goes up 8, then that means there aren't 20 gold bars in your crown." And that's how displacement was discovered.
I've never heard that story before. That's fucking.
You've never heard that story? You had a terrible physics teacher.
Dom, I thought that he was just like retarded, and then he was fat, and he had the pool. He had his bathtub fill up to the brim, and he sat in it, and then the water went out of it.
No. He was given this
this is a way to measure how fat I am.
He didn't know how to do it, and he was like, "I gotta take a bath. I can't figure this out." And he saw the water level rise, and it clicked. And he was like, "That's how I can figure it out. You can figure out volume rather than mass by doing water displacement."
That was what I first thought when I heard displace, is not displacing people or populations or even Eureka. I thought of the fact that crows understand water displacement so they can have food in their graduated cylinder.
Oh, they definitely
water,
do. Crows are so
dropping
fucking
rocks
smart.
in to try to have it rise up.
Yeah, crows fucking know what's up.
Which most animals, even dogs, don't understand that. They don't understand how like you can put stuff in and it rises up, but crows.
Yeah, crows do. And elephants.
Crows are like unicorns. They're so smart.
So smart.
Apes understand it, but it's hard.
They sure do. All right, guys, let's take
break for the last one?
Piarino break, last one, and then we'll be back. We have one left.
We got one left.
Yeah, and final thoughts.
So here we are. We're doing the wheel spin. We started with 15. We're down to 1.
Meat spin.
I don't know how my delay is, but I'm talking.
Capperloin.
So the thing about Capperloin is,
Capperloin is,
I actually, when I was on this website doing the random word generator, there is an option for fake words, and that's what Capperloin is. It's not a real word. I didn't want to end on this one, but it happened to work this way.
Word.
So I think we should make up our own definitions for what Capperloin is. And I do think Capperloin is a noun. So, Dylan, what do you think Capperloin would be?
Dom, I appreciate the singling out and in the first to come up with a definition for Capperloin. I know that capper is usually a guy in the hood who shoots people, and loin would be something of the reference of tenderloin. So, you know what I mean? So, loin would be steak. Capper would be someone who shoots people. So, I'm also thinking about very specifically.
That means the gooch.
Wait, Joe, this is not your turn, my friend.
I'm just saying, the loin.
So back off.
Oh.
So I'm thinking of specifically that disease in the brain that's mad cow disease.
MCD.
It is, but mad cow disease is a. What's the classification for that, Joe? Now you can talk.
Disease.
I think it's a virus.
It's a prion. It's a prion disease.
Is it a prion? Is that true?
It is. Mad cow is a prion.
I know.
And prion.
But I don't know. Mad cow disease is a prion. That's fucking gnarly.
Mad cow is a prion, and prions
It's a
specifically are not viruses. They're not bacteria. They're like a weird DNA virus that comes from eating brains, and it causes proteins to fold weird. So you
it's
have a
basically
year.
like a fucked up. It's like a virus on your computer where it's not actually a biological agent. It is a math problem that they fuck up,
and it causes your computer
exactly.
not be able to
prions
handle
are like a math problem
recording
that
a
fucks
wheel
up your
spin.
brain. Yeah, they don't even hijack your cells to recreate themselves like viruses do. They don't procreate like
It's more,
It's not cell related at all. It's
parasite.
protein.
They literally are like a math equation where the
It's not a parasite either.
and fucks up your algorithm and just fucks up your brain. Your proteins.
Yeah, well,
don't know
Joe's
how to
right.
fold.
Joe's completely right that it's because like DNA is a protein, so it just folds on itself weird. And people who have prion diseases, like they're cannibals, and they're not just eating dicks and asses
continuing
and
the
feet.
prions.
They're
They're
eating the
brains.
brain specifically are the ones who get the prion diseases,
So zombies.
and they cause
And
them to laugh
incurable.
uncontrollably for a year, and then they die. Like it's a
I
weird
think
thing.
Dylan got this
So,
definition from the wonderful
Caproloin?
computer, iPhone, Apple, Android game Plague.
No,
Inc.
you've been watching me the whole time. I've been hands free, been on the mic. So caproloin, I think of as loin being like tenderloin, and then capra being someone who kills people. So this is a cannibalistic steak made of brains.
Good guess.
All right,
Cannibalistic
Tom?
steak made of brains.
Can I say mine now? I'm gonna say
It's time for Joe.
because I'm one with the youth, which we've made that very clear the whole episode.
What's the youth?
I am feeling some type of way about this episode, but also caproloin, cap. That means you're talking shit. That means you're lying. No cap. I'm always no cap in this podcast. So caproloin, loin. That's you're feeling down your loins. I feel like caproloins are dudes who talk like they have a big cock, but actually they don't have much to show down there because they're caproloins. Like they're capping it, but they're loins. You know, like they talk a lot of shit, but you know they don't have what it takes to get really in there. You know, right? I mean, come on now. Don't be a caproloin. You got a tiny dick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that could be a caproloin.
You have a
Making
fat
sense to me.
pussy.
Fat pussy. I mean, Pat pussy.
I think it's Pat Fussy's
now-
making sense. I can't argue with that at all.
I'm a caproloin,
All right,
man. I mean, I'm 20 inches in the pages and 6 inches in the sheets.
so Mr.
Obviously, I'm
Boombastic.
kidding. Sorry, Mom.
I think a caproloin is if you're of a certain you make enough money, you're not going to Stop and Shop or as I've heard in other arguments from Dylan, Market Basket and Whole Foods versus Joe's Stop and Shop or Hannaford's, but fuck Shaw's is you go to an actual
fuck Shaw's.
butcher.
Fuck all of you.
And when you're at the butcher, you want a pork loin. But if you're really rich, you go, hey, can I get a capra loin? And that's where the butcher shuts down for the day. And he personally rubs in the seasoning and happy endings your pork loin for you. So it's the most
Wow.
moist and sticky and delicious, salty.
Where does the cap come in there? Like a
No,
nightcap?
it's just there are plenty of things that exist that don't need. Where did that come from?
So
Well, that's
you
just what
didn't
it's
need-
called.
The whole first
a
part of the
capra
word, you're
loin.
like, why bother? I'll take the loin part and I'll run with it. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Where's the rule saying
Dylan
that I
and I
can't
actually
do
use the
that?
whole word
Where's
to
the
do
rule
it.
saying that I can't do that? That's what a capra loin is. That's what it is. It's a guy that shuts down. It's a butcher that will shut down his butcher shop to charge
Oh, it's
you
person.
extra.
It's not the cut of meat. It's actually the person.
I said
himself.
that.
He's
Yeah,
the
he is the person. He's the capra loin. No, sorry. No,
Wow.
you're right. No, I'm wrong. You're right. I'm wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. A capra loin is the thing you order to get a specially rubbed
The cut.
pork loin at a
I want
butcher.
the capra loin. Yeah.
And to shut down the shop, so like, you could be like, "Yeah, I want a New York
That's
strip
why.
steak or
Yeah, I want a
fucking
capra loin. Oh,
whatever."
that'd be
You go,
$200.
"I want a
Like,
capra loin." They
whatever.
go,
I want a
"Everyone
filet
get the
mignon."
fuck out except for him." and they shut the place down.
Yep.
Because
and
when
he
you're a
goes
capper
and
loin,
his
it means
whole
it's $100 a
the
pound.
rest of his day is cappering that loin.
Yep. Cappering that loin.
That makes me
Makes
really want
sense
to
to
order
me.
capper loin.
Yeah.
That.
This just makes me really
Is that the whole shop
kind of
down?
frustrated
That must be
that I didn't want this or that to. I know. I'll save it for final thoughts.
All right.
Okay.
This is final.
I think it's
thoughts.
time for final thoughts.
All right, it's final thoughts.
All right, now
I'm going to
we're
go
final
first.
thoughts. Go ahead, Dom.
Dom's
The
go
wheel,
first.
the wheel is great. I loved having a good time. This was a great time. I've never had a
fun,
podcast go
right?
by so fast than doing it. I'm like, we're only 15 minutes in,
Dude,
right?
just
It's been 3
chit-chatting.
hours, 2.5 hours, whatever the fuck it ends up being.
Ask that to the listeners who have been listening for 3 hours.
But when I put this together, even just using the random words, putting it, I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about whatever the fuck we're gonna say for green things. But I did not want this or that to be the first one. I thought that would have been a good like halfway through, do a little debate thing, and I didn't want the only made up word to be last. But it worked out. It's fun. This is a good
can't
way
choose.
to every once in a while.
It's
We
the
have
word of the
absolutely
wheel.
no idea what's going to happen. And the closest this comes to this is when we do our top 10s every 10 episodes. But this is completely different. This is wild. I had a really good time making this episode. I hope everyone enjoys watching it and listening to it.
Wow, thanks, Dom. You're the fucking man. Couldn't say it better myself. My final thoughts are I always love the meat wheel.
Meat spin. You got to spin
Meat
that meat.
wheel allows you to
Meat spin.
the meat spin. Yeah, it allows, just like Joe said, it allows you to be open-minded about what could come next for you in the next hour because you have no idea, no clue. You go, I'm going to talk about capper loin as opposed to like I got to be studying.
We
and doing this.
did 15
Allows you to
topics
draw-
tonight. That's wild.
15 allows you to draw from the capper loin
Nothing's
of knowledge that resides in your brain over the past 31 or 26 years, whatever the fuck old you are, 30. You know, like you can pull from that. So you show up and you go, I'm excited. It's almost like hanging out with the boys. We're going to talk about capper loins and fucking other shit. It's going to be a good time. And I do believe that capper loin I'm right about it. That's all I'm going to say. So
I think you had the
That's
best
all.
definition. If I had to vote for best definition, it would be your definition for what capper loin is.
Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Like cannibalistic brain steaks
Prions.
It was
Yeah,
good.
Fucking terrifying.
full of prions.
It gets you good,
Yeah.
but good. Human
Yep.
cannibalism. Rough stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
final
Cannibals
thoughts
are
are the
cool.
same thing.
I'm all about it.
Same thing. Love doing the wheel. I know it's kind of like a half-assed way to do a podcast. It seems to me. I mean, this is my own opinion. You go in there, you do the wheel, but you get so much great conversation and so much funny shit comes up. We didn't even talk about half the shit. We learned shit tonight. We learned about capper loins. We learned about different styles of cars and other things about that. We learned about the definitions of many words that I can't remember right now, but watch back. They'll probably be in the end of the podcast. I'll put the part where I don't
Angelology.
remember that. Angelology is a great example of that. And talking about seeing the many-eyed rings of the god creatures from beyond the pale where we live. But yeah, love it. Love the wheel. Like I said, I don't want to do it every week because it's not that kind of podcast this is. But
And
can't
another
it be?
reason not to do it every single time is because this gives too much of a view into our actual minds to the viewers. This is how we,
which is
without a wheel, if we're just hanging out,
Yeah.
this is how we have conversations. It jumps around through these crazy things. And we do put effort into the podcast to try to keep on a single track, which, as you've all known from watching, it doesn't happen.
And this one, I don't want to spoil
But
it
this
for the
is
viewers
the
if they've already
most
made it this far, but,
crazy it
this
gets.
is pretty disjointed. It's disjointed as fuck.
But at the end of the day, I like it when you guys are flying the wall and, at this point, if you don't know us by now, you don't know us, you know what I mean? So,
Hey,
so,
must be the money.
yeah, we don't want you to know too much about us, but the wheel
But
does
we told
give
you about
a
our
little bit
dads,
insight into
but we
what
don't want
we're
you to know
actually
much about
thinking. That's right. That's right. It's a good point, Dom.
Thank you. Thank you very
But
much.
all of us have had a friend who has shit their pants on the way to their house, so that does tell you something about us. So, on that, we'll see you guys next week for episode 79, and then 80.
78.
Usually wild. We don't have a plan for it yet. This is gonna blow your fucking socks right out of your
You're
house.
not ready for it. None of us are ready for it.
Imagine a leaf blower full of prion diseases, blowing socks. That's me, episode 80.
So hold on. So you're telling me that if you ever have like a stomach ache, you just like you're just gulping Pepto-Bismol. You don't just fucking go through it like
Dylan
a man.
is definitely, as soon as he feels anything, he's
no,
taking
I'm
it, right?
not. Oh, Jesus
Oh, yes,
Christ.
you are.
No, I do not
As soon
take
as your
anything
stomach
unless
hurts,
I
you're
need
taking
it.
like 8 Tums in a second. I know you are.
I don't take Tums.
It works in both sets. It's like, oh, this guy, oh, he's a legend. He never. Then you get Larry Legend, fucking, popping basketball shots from behind the backboard, getting it in.
I honestly have no patience for that. People who don't understand how evolution works. Like, when I was like in college and I was like, oh, it's kind of weird people don't understand it. Now I have no patience for it. If you think that monkeys turn into people
bonkers.
in a week, you're a fucking idiot, and I don't have time for you at all. Like,
Yeah, at the very least, it takes like 1 billion years for a monkey to take a turn to me.
It takes,
well, not a billion.
Obviously, that number is wrong, but like your idea is exactly on point. Like, it takes forever.
Which, as you've all known from watching, it doesn't happen.
And this one, I don't want to spoil
but
it
this
for the
is
viewers
the
that
most
made it this far,
crazy
but, like,
it
this
gets.
is pretty disjointed. This is disjointed as fuck.